If Love and Gogi is wrong, I don't want to be right.
What would Socrates say to that?
It tickles my fancy.
Okay.
Okay.
Goosies.
I don't have hair.
Oof.
You got Marcos.
That's not. No, that's not.
Wait.
Yeah.
That's true. You do got me. Get over here, Marcus. Let me look at you.
They don't want it. Tobin and Leroy, ready to deploy. Had to hit her with a little journalism, but that was a decoy. Better have about me, boy. Okay, Leroy and Tobin, hold to the show, man. Still to the stars with the show, and till then his half moon open. Sometimes go taste like a snowman. No proof, I'm a lie about a motor. No proof, like I always wanted him. I never hated him. I never traded him. And if I did, I never ever traded him. You know what is a star? Like another city, the driver's side Florida. Wish I could large, so many more. 10 in the more, never a bar. 8, 10 in the more, 2 to the P. Nothing to you, but it's something to me. Handsome as ever and cute as can be. You can watch us on YouTube with view for free. Ay. This one time for the Twitch. This one time for the text. This one time for the phone line. Whole time wonder what they gonna do next.
You know, I just wish you guys would stop the quibbling.
Yeah. Hey.
Leroy.
Hey, they put it on them. Now,
woo!
I sent out a text yesterday, and it goes to the point that I have made about Jimmy even while he was here. Right? Jimmy averages 17 points. Blah, 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 blah. And my contention is that he's a hell of a player, but can that be your number one? And when I watched that game, you know what I thought?
What?
And I sent a text. That looks like the Heat when Jimmy was on it.
Yeah, correct.
Right? And so,
Same situation for sure.
While people say that I'm disrespecting Jimmy, I'm not disrespecting Jimmy at all. I'm not diminishing what Jimmy can do. But I'm saying this, and we've said this about other players. We say this about quarterbacks in the NFL, right? Can Jimmy be your number one and win a championship? Things can align, and things aligned a couple of times when they made it to the finals.
Yeah.
But if you look at all the number ones in the league, if I make Jimmy a number one, where do you rank Jimmy? And I'm talking about everything.
I'd say middle of the pack.
Right.
For the most part. I
Right.
mean, he's a good defender, but he's old.
But your team,
yeah,
if your star player is in the middle of the pack,
yeah,
can't be successful.
Sure.
And so when I watched that game and watched Jimmy picking and choosing when to be aggressive, when to get to the foul line and whatever, what happens when you're younger is you can take that pounding. As you get older, and I'm going to tell you what they call it. There's a word for it. It's called veteran savvy, which basically means you can't take that hit, and so you're going to pick and choose when to do it.
Yes.
But that's not what the Warriors needed, nor what the Heat needed at times. They need him to always be that guy because you are the number one.
Leroy, this is too wise for me.
Let's
go! In your face, Jimmy Butler! In your face! 11 points? Are you kidding me? What a bum, dude. Remember that Jimmy Butler? Saw him all the time. That's the guy you thought you had. That is the truth. 11 points. Cowering in the biggest moments. You know what Jimmy Butler's good at doing? Not enough. And that's what the hell happened yesterday. Look, it was one of those games where usually we're on the other side of, where some guy we don't even care about puts up a career game. Alec Burks had 17 points yesterday, outdueled Jimmy Butler. I can't even tell you how proud of Bam Adebayo. Never doubted him.
And all that. Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
They ought to file assault and battery charges on Bam for what he did to Draymond Green.
That was
they should have put him in head. They should have put him in handcuffs.
That was an acting job. Look, yesterday, Bam Adebayo, we had a conversation before the game where we were determining who would be the most aggressive, who would have the biggest chip on their shoulder. And one of the things that I mentioned for us to be successful, because I think they could overcome a Tyler Hero 40-point performance. I think they could have overcome an Andrew Wiggins 40-point performance. But if somebody was going to be aggressive for us to win, it had to be Bam Adebayo. And from the opening tip, the man played possessed.
Yep.
It was great. It was great to watch. There was moments from Kel'el Ware. Oh
my goodness. Can I just tell you?
Wow.
That Kel'el play,
yeah,
will be one of the plays of the year.
Yeah, absolutely.
A 7-footer jumping, getting the ball batted, catching it, and laying it up.
Yeah, I've never seen that in my life. Of course, we've seen the Dwayne Wade trick shot against Detroit where he's falling and it's over the head. Like, we've seen a bunch of different trick shots.
But you ain't seen nobody catch their own batted ball
and
lay it up.
That was
with the spin to get the ball over there.
No, that was amazing. That was amazing, and that was obviously pure luck. But the things that he did that involved skill, that block on Jimmy Butler. Block on Jimmy Butler.
Can I just also say this?
Yeah.
I have never seen a player cover more ground to block a 3 without fouling like Andrew Wiggins did a couple of times.
Yeah.
I mean, he has to have the reach of a baby condor, because very rarely do you see somebody contest the 3 from the paint and get a hand on it. So it was
a 7-foot wingspan.
It was a good game. It was fun to watch. I like the fact that I think as this is played out, I think everybody is kind of finding their niche and just playing basketball. So, for example, Bam got to touch the ball on every possession. He does. There can't be moments where you dribble it around the perimeter and Bam doesn't get the ball. Because basically what he does is him being on the perimeter and being able to take his guy off the dribble. And then that frees up the alley-oop for Kel'el.
Yep.
And that frees up guys for the 3. And I just noticed when they move around and hit these guys, and when Bam takes somebody off the dribble, a big off the dribble, it just opens up so many things. And I was amazed. Now, I will tell you this.
Yeah.
I've had a couple of colonoscopies.
All right.
And you know what's coming.
Yeah.
You know the prep. And when I watch a Heat game, I'm always getting into the third and fourth quarters waiting. Right. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I was, even though that game was dominant, I mean, from start to finish, dominant on
Yeah.
both sides of the ball.
I was awaiting a letdown.
I still was kind of waiting for that run. I was still waiting for when Jimmy started to try to take over, and then he just stopped.
Yeah.
And contrary to popular belief, that's what he did here. In his last year when he was playing. And what I would say to people, and again, this has nothing to do with Jimmy Butler's ability, but he's older. And when you watch him play, trying to be the number one on that team, it had to remind you of what the Heat were. It had to.
Yeah.
And
sure.
and you can understand that if that is what your team looked like, and your GM and your owner decided we don't want more of that, it's time for us to move on from that, then that's fine. And who cares about the blame? Who cares about the way Jimmy left? The fact of the matter is that the reason why Jimmy Butler is not in a Miami Heat uniform is because that's what it looked like. And so many times we've come in here the day after a game saying, I need Jimmy to be more aggressive. I need Jimmy to take over. 30-year-old Jimmy could take over. 35-year-old Jimmy, not so much.
It was a very familiar Jimmy Butler on the court.
Right.
But look, there was things that happened beforehand. There was things that happened during the game.
Wait,
and there were things that
I didn't even know. Did they do a tribute?
They did indeed do a tribute video. I actually have a surprise for you, Leroy. Don't say I never got you anything. I know you've been working real hard this Lent season, making sure that you've held up your end of the bargain. So my reward to you is we're gonna bring the show pony on, and we're gonna bring him from his vacation to show us a little love.
Does he have to do the Stephen A? I had to come on vacation.
Had to come on vacation just to describe the sights and sound from being boots on the ground yesterday. So let me just tell you that these headlines were brought to you by Doral Volkswagen. At Doral Volkswagen, choose from over 300 new Volkswagen models in stock, like the Tiguan, Taos, and Atlas. And remember, when it comes to Volkswagen, the great deals are at Doral Volkswagen. When we come back, 15 minutes of heat. The show pony makes his triumphant return to the show to describe all the sights and sound from Big Face Loser's return to South Florida.
WQ
Bam, bam.
15 minutes of heat here on the Tobin and Leroy show. It is Frog Week. Said it multiple times. Better than Shark Week, but nothing better
Well,
than Jimmy Butler lose yesterday.
basically, you're a water person without teeth.
I'm not sure. I feel like that was offensive. I'm not sure, but I do. Feel like that. 15 minutes of heat is brought to you by Hollywood Kia. At Hollywood Kia, the #1 Kia dealer in all of Florida. Get the star treatment. We want to see you in Hollywood Kia. Or make sure you shop online at hollywoodkia.com. We have none other than Mr. Boots on the Ground himself, the show pony. Leroy.
You don't have to do it again because you made a point to do it right after the game with all your credentials on.
What a time. Well, I was under a stairwell so nobody could see me.
Hey, so let me ask you this, because I told him watching the Heat is the equivalent to getting your second colonoscopy. You know what's coming, but you brace yourself for it. When it got to the third and fourth quarter, were you still waiting for that thing?
Yeah, I think Kuminga hit a 3 to get it to 8, and I was like, oh, yeah.
Yeah,
The cheeks
right?
tightened. The
Right?
cheeks tightened.
And they kicked a couple of balls around in the paint, and I'm like, oh, hell, here we go.
Yep.
I will say this. I was so impressed with Andrew Wiggins defensively. I have never seen a guy get from the paint to the three-point line and get a hand on the ball.
It's impressive.
And he did it a couple of times. It was crazy.
Impressive wingspan from him. I mean, honestly, it was funny. All the new guys really made such a force defensively because you had Davion Mitchell with that big steal and score to start the fourth. Slow-mo with the little back tap.
Slow-mo.
Hey, his nickname is so fitting, right?
Slow, dude.
He is moving. I don't care how up and down the court the game is going. Slow-mo is going at his pace.
Working at his pace. But it was Goosey's, dude. I'm not gonna lie. Like it was a night that, you know, obviously was highly anticipated.
Mhm.
And it kind of made better by the fact that Steph Curry wasn't there, because it was like, here you are, buddy. You're all alone. You're by your lonesome. You got your new BFF, Draymond Green. Do something.
Ooh, by the way,
Flopper.
I said this earlier. Bam should be arrested.
Oh,
For what he did to Draymond,
for the elderly abuse.
the whole game had him crying and begging for calls, and
Dude, you want to know something? He makes Kyle Lowry towards the referees look cordial. Like he loses when Tyler got that foul on him. He legitimately, I think, was done for the game. He checked out because all he could focus on was whining at the referees. Insufferable, dude.
Whining.
but it was how. So when you saw the Kel'el play, did you about lose your mind?
Dude, it was. I was like, did I just see a hallucination? What is that?
Right, 7
It
foot.
was. He's unbelievable. He is so good. He got a block, the block on Jimmy, the alley oops when they find the lobs up. But then, like some of the touch that he had, like they threw a double team, and he's just like feathery touch over you. It was smooth yesterday from Kel'el Ware. Looked amazing.
He has a lot of slow-mo traits, but with more athletic ability, right?
Yes,
Because he does move. Like he's not like, even when he runs up and down the court, he's moving, but it just seems like, you know, so
He glides.
So did you see my text? What did you think of my text?
Which ones? You texted a lot.
The one with Jimmy. I said, watching Jimmy by himself on the Warriors.
He's proud of this steak.
Looks like Jimmy when he was with everybody with the Heat.
I mean, it was honestly, I think the thing that was cool about it from Miami's standpoint is they took away the one thing that he is good at no matter what, which is getting to the free throw line. They didn't foul him. They just they took him on straight up and be like, go ahead, do something. And a lot of the times he was tepid. Like he was kicking out to shooters, even at like Tyler Hero, like wouldn't really go at Tyler Hero other than like the first possession of the game. I thought they just did a great job of defending him straight up. Bam obviously came out of the gate. He's just like, let's go. And it was, look, dude, you could cut the game pregame, cut the tension with a knife because Bam Adebayo's out there for his normal warm-up time. And who comes strolling on up, giving me a wink? But Jimmy Butler. But no acknowledgement, no hellos, just two ships passing in the night, warming up on opposite sides. And then Jimmy Butler, as Bam is finishing up, you're like, is he going to say hello? Is he going to go that? Nope, just keeps walking with his show pony agent.
And what I would tell you is this.
Ooh.
Nobody has a problem with Jimmy getting his money. And it's the same thing I said about Tyreek. But you quit on your guys, that carries some weight. That
It really it did.
How they look at you, how they view you is totally different. And so if Jimmy had gotten traded and balled out and did everything he could to help the team win up until the point he got traded,
It'd be different.
right? It'd be different.
Yep.
But I don't care what you think of Pat Riley. I don't care what you think about Mickey Arison. It's the guys that you go to battle with that have a problem with.
It also is just like the day, like he has this whole thing because I was surprised how much he got booed. But like the comments over the week,
that's
like
what probably got him booed.
Yeah, he was pissing on Heat culture again, and he's just like, he's bringing up all these comments, and then he has the comment to Taylor Rooks about, Pat better not have anything to say to me, which was like such fake tough guy because Pat's going to be on his pavilion. You're not going to talk to him, and I'll tell you one thing, like. He had this awkward frosty start where like he goes to the table afterward before the game and like blows right past Mickey Arison. Like he's right there and just like he's not even there. Like he's invisible to go say hi to Reggie Miller. I'm just like,
what is he that close to Reggie Miller?
I've never exactly.
It's Reggie Miller.
Nobody says hello to Reggie Miller. He's very annoying.
Think it's one of those situations where Vlad said he could say whatever he wanted. He got what he wanted. But at the same time, you can tell he's feeling a little bit of remorse.
Oh,
because
dude.
he's trying to curb his actions in all of it. It's 51, 49%. Like, yo, man, we know what you did.
Dude, and then last night I'm like reading the quotes as I'm leaving because I'm not going to that locker room. But he was I'm like reading the quotes from Will Manso afterwards. He goes, I wouldn't be the player that I was without the Miami Heat. It's wait a minute. Wait. I thought you said it a week ago that Heat culture is just a saying you put around good players. And now you got your ass kicked. And now you wouldn't be the player that you were. Damage is done, my friend. I'm sorry. Never wanted him. Glad they didn't extend him. Utility player. Basically, Patrick Beverly with a coffee shop. Hit the bricks, dude.
Hey, can I just say this?
Patrick Beverly.
Marcos.
Yeah.
First of all, give our man a -1.
That's why.
-1. Because this. I fought you.
Never wanted him
all year about this. And you said, I quote, I would have paid him. And now you never wanted him.
Never wanted him. Dude.
So let's do this. Let's say Pat Riley was on to something. Because if that looks like this right now, what is Jimmy going to look like in 2 years?
It's going to look tough. It's going to look tough.
So for all
It's
the
like
people, wasn't me, but for all the people, and I'm looking at one right now.
Who?
Ain't an owl on this show. Except one person who wanted to pay him. And I said, you know what this is going to look like in 2 years. And now you have an idea. So you apologize to Pat Riley.
Me?
Yes.
No, I took all the. How am I going to apologize for?
You said he was wrong for not paying Jimmy.
If anything, Pat Riley owes me. I'm the
Really?
one who took all the bullets for him this year. For this what the hell up comment.
Wait. You just flip-flopped your broad.
No. I don't have a problem with his decision.
Everybody was nothing. It was
I've been
just
if
you.
if anybody's owed an apology, Pat Riley owes me an apology.
Why?
Because
He's
the one who went out there and told him to keep. No. He went and said, keep your mouth shut. And everybody didn't get mad at him. They got mad at me. So if anybody's owed an apology, I'm owed an apology and an extension.
Here, let's do this as far as how things went. If you had not asked Pat Riley that question, would he have made those comments? And I would furthermore go to say, you're like the little igniter on the end of a firecracker.
Hard to say.
And you took your match and you lit it and blew it up.
Can we talk about this though?
Yeah.
We got a little chance to go on a run here, and now the Bucks are all of a sudden out of the playoff scenario. Like if we just get Kel'el Ware and Nico could be coming back soon, it's possible that this could have been the one step they need to right the ship.
He's back, baby. He's back. He took a break because of Jim VP, but now he's back. He's back.
All right. If you listen to
so Smeathan, absolutely not.
So we should thank Tobin. Smeathan says, so is Leroy saying we should thank Tobin? Without those comments, Jimmy gets his extension.
No, I don't think Jimmy gets the extension anyway, because the whole point of the extension was he doesn't play enough games.
Doesn't seem like we have a grip on this. It's like a greased pig, like you're saying one thing but mean the other. I don't know. Nope. What I guess we're all just trying to say here is I never wanted Jimmy Butler. I'm glad that he's gone. And we have Andrew Wiggins now, Heat lifer, slow-mo Heat lifer. Put him up in the rafters. And I wanted to say slow-mo on the jersey.
Slow-mo. Hey, you had to know the Heat. Wait, the first sign of petty is giving somebody else your number.
Yeah.
That's the first sign.
And did you see Jimmy have the shakes before the game?
I did.
They go to him. He's like, I'm like, what's up with dude? He's got the
shaking his hands.
Dude, he was grabbing he was like
a lot of big face coffee.
Hey, I'm telling you, he had the willies going into that game.
Let me just say this. I wasn't surprised. Jimmy is being the same Jimmy that he has been for the last year or so. Right? How many times did we come in here and say, why isn't Jimmy being more aggressive? The team really needs him to be aggressive. He has to be the catalyst. He has to be the guy. And he's deferring to other people. So now I take the same situation and put him on another team. And guess what? He does the same thing. Why? Here's my conclusion to this. In order to get to the foul line on a consistent basis, you have to be able to take that pounding and be extremely aggressive. And I just think that's the part of it that's slipping away. He's tried to become a better three-point shooter, right? But the fact of the matter is, the basketball and the style of basketball that Jimmy plays, he doesn't really want to play that anymore.
And the other thing that was interesting yesterday was he was soft on the defensive side. Like he's guarding Kel'el and Haywood Highsmith.
Yeah.
It wasn't until the second half started that he started D'ing up Tyler. No interest in defending Bam. I would have thought all of that talk and all that bluster and all that not wanting to talk to anybody. I would have, hey, D up somebody.
Especially when you see your guy getting sauteed. Dude.
Yeah, there's nothing you could have done about that.
Look, he was making Philly cheesesteaks over there, sauteing onions and the peppers. Like, come on. Hey, Bam. And look, kudos to everybody on the floor with Bam in the Heat. Because they cleared out. Go, Dre, go cook him.
It was good.
Right.
It was good.
So I think everybody.
I wish I could have.
I tell you what. Respectfully, dude. Respectfully. Because
very respectfully.
Dude, if this guy gets anything less than 30 minutes from here on out, I'm gonna be hot.
Well, I need to go back on vacation. Toodles.
Yes, be free, Tobin. Thank you, man. Thank you for stopping by. Enjoy the rest of the week at Peanut Island. I'm not sure if that's where he's actually going to be, but
where did my wife? They went to what's it called, Bathtub Beach.
Yeah, you mentioned that, which I thought was a weird name for a place, but I googled it. It's real.
Yeah, they went there. You know, they were talking about. You know, they got in the water and you can go way out. Like the whole little cove is shaped like a bathtub. So it's pretty low. And then Rebecca told me something grabbed her foot and was trying to pull it. She said, I think it was a crab. I said, first of all, crabs don't grab people and try to pull them into the water. Right?
Yeah. Oh, that was.
And I said, you know who that would never happen to? She goes, Daddy. I said, that's right. You know why? Because
safe.
Yes. No crabs, no barracuda, no sharks have ever come knock on my door. So I'm not gonna go knock on theirs. Y'all think? And I said, that's the intangible side of you. I said, you think?
It was with her mom.
Yeah, you think that them animals ain't gonna chew you up? Okay.
JFig says a crab has grabbed me when I was paddleboarding. Like it's like the only animal she defends is sharks. I don't
Wait. So if you paddleboarding, how's the crab on top of the water?
I don't
when
know.
did crabs learn swimming on top of the water?
Look, I think both you guys are lying, to be honest. It's
really?
Just, I personally
why would I lie about not going to the beach? It ain't happening. Do you go get in the water and you and your wife and Tadpole go into the water?
Nah. I mean, the water, first of all, my son is still he's figuring out the beach. He just figured out sand recently. He still doesn't understand the concept of this water that like you can't control. So when the water's going away from him, he's like, look how beautiful that water looks. And then when it's coming towards him, he's like, I'm going to die. The water's going to get me. And then it goes away and he's like, all right, well, look, now this is good. We'll keep a distance from ourselves. And then it comes back and he's like, why is he trying to kill me again? So he doesn't understand.
So he's looking over at you like, it's coming again.
Yeah. And then when it's gone, he's like, where'd it go? I don't understand why he would leave. We were having a good time. And then it comes back and he's like, I'm going to die again.
So it's too soon to start telling about high tide and low tide.
Yeah. Oh no, he's still figuring it out for sure. Recently, he couldn't understand when he would get sand on his hand, he would try to wipe his hand off with the sand. Like and he just wouldn't understand why more would keep coming. He's like, my hands are sandy, and then he'd wipe the ground to get it off of him, and they'd be more sandy, and he'd be like, I don't understand what's going on here. So it's a work in progress. He's good with pools, though. He's good with pools. And you know what? Pools are safer, Leroy.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm all for it.
When we come back, we're going to talk a little Cats, Florida Panthers, as they're on a bit of a break right now, but
they need it. Is Marchand coming back?
He should be coming back soon, but not before teams are already determining whether or not they trade for him in the offseason, but he'll be coming back soon. And Matthew Tkachuk should be coming back soon. So we'll take a look at more of what the Cats have coming up and a little bit of road to repeat when we come back on the Tobin and Leroy Show.
sacrifice our love.
Welcome back to the Tobin and Leroy Show.
You're as cold as ice. You're willing to sacrifice our love.
Who sings that song?
Nah,
you're not gonna get this one.
Hold on.
Yep.
I will.
No.
Let me think about it for a second.
Yeah, I know. Because once I say it, you're gonna be like, oh, that's right. Yeah.
I can't think of it right offhand.
I know. Foreigner.
There it is.
Yeah, I know. It's one of those where it's like, Foreigner. Right. Anyway, this is a little bit of Panthers as we are on a road to repeat, sponsored by Celsius Essential Energy Drinks. Hockey fans, don't sit this one out when it's game time. Make Celsius a part of your play and get that energy up. Game day is fueled by Celsius, the official energy drink of
your Florida Panthers. You think
right.
they put Arctic vibe because it's the ice den and they're hockey players, so they put Arctic?
I do think that there's social media or media people in general that are that horny's not the word, but it's kind of just like, like low-hanging fruit. Of course you're gonna do that, I don't know.
Right.
It just seems like that would make the most sense, but because we are Florida, I would also suspect like a tropical vibe would have been like, all right, cool, I understand that one, but anywho, your Florida Panthers are set to take on the Utah Ukuleles, also known as the Utah Hockey Club, this Friday. I believe they've already landed in town, if I'm not mistaken. Games at 7 p.m. can be heard right here on
tomorrow, right?
What's tomorrow? No, tomorrow is Thursday. This is Friday.
Oh, Friday. Okay.
Yes,
no, the Panthers play tomorrow.
No, Panthers play Friday.
Man, I thought they played on Thursday.
Nope, they've had quite a break. I'm not gonna lie to you. Their last game,
they needed. I mean, they remember like they were complaining early about being on the road so much.
Yeah, a lot of action back. I mean, they got some back-to-backs coming up as well. So but this is a good time. We got a lot of injuries, so people can heal up. Mark Chan can finally get in the lineup. Kachuk, of course, she's probably not going to be ready anytime soon, but this gives us the proper amount of time to get into the off season. Hopefully as healthy as we can possibly be, because we definitely miss Kachuk. We haven't lost too many games, but it's still kind of like you want to see this team at full strength. We haven't been able to see how Marchand fits. We haven't been able to see Chuck since the Four Nations Cup. So, I'm not necessarily worried, but I am kind of like, I'm ready to see the team now. But like I said, you still have 2 days until you have an opportunity to catch those cats. So get those tickets if you haven't already. We've been talking thus far about the biggest story in South Florida, the Miami Heat being able to topple Jimmy Butler's Warriors yesterday. It's truly a dominant performance. We had Show Pony come on.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah, that was the best game.
Jimmy Butler's Warriors. It's still Steph's Warriors.
Yeah, for sure. But had Steph played yesterday, I would have, definitely mentioned him. But yesterday, Jimmy was a guy. That is what they traded him for. That is the reason why they moved on from Klay Thompson. That is the reason why they moved on from Andrew Wiggins. They wanted to take some of that weight, if you will, that they were complaining about, that Steph Curry burden, and let someone else go ahead and do it. But like you mentioned multiple times, Jimmy is not and has never really been that player. And whenever he's been forced to be that player, he has found success in spurts, but it's not something that's long lasting enough to the effect of a Steph Curry, for example.
Right.
Yesterday was just another example of that. And of course, there's some other unfortunate news, obviously, because you don't want to see any good players in the NBA go down. But the story of Damian Lillard came out yesterday of blood clots, and unfortunately being out indefinitely. And it's very easy to look at all the failures of Pat Riley, but even within these most recent moves, how would we feel if we had Dame Lillard, we had given up a majority of the team, We have a Jimmy Butler that barely plays, and now we have a Dame Lillard who has blood clots. How would we feel in that sense about Pat Riley's success, even though he went and he was quote unquote successful in obtaining these stars? In retrospect, it kind of seems like, not that Pat knew this was going to happen, but it's kind of like maybe we ended up in the place we were supposed to be. With Kel'el Ware, the future of the franchise, looking as great as he did on the court yesterday. Bam Adebayo beginning to take that step forward. Tyler Hero becoming an all-star. The youth that we've drafted, that we picked up, seeming like they're turning the corner. Maybe it's not over for these Heat. Leroy. But we will continue to talk Miami Heat. We'll hear from the players. Steve Kerr takes a shot at Miami on the way out.
Really? Why?
We'll hear about it next hour, how he disgraced the Miami Heat fan. We'll get some more perspective of how things were yesterday, boots on the ground. And of course, because it's Frog Week, that we have games galore. We'll be playing Family Feud today. We have our Wednesday favorite Rats Off a Ship. And you never know what other kind of surprises are going to be hopping on by during Frog Week, including, I think Vlad's going to be here any minute now. With that being said, let's go ahead.
You and Vlad weren't on the same page?
He's got some stuff to do. I think I don't know if he has Jay Crawford necessarily, but I think he has like another thing that he does. I'm not sure. You know what? God bless him. Anyone who's trying to do whatever they possibly can to survive in this South Florida economy, I can't complain at all. But anyway, our Tua when we come back. What if I just passed out? That'd probably be like a better ending. But I'm gonna quit while I'm ahead and welcome you back to the Tobin and Leroy show. It is Frog Week on the program. Hour 2 of the program, ladies and
Yes.
so man. I believe Vlad's here now. I think Vlad's ready now. What's up, dog? How are you? Everything's good? Just gotta check on my boy sometimes. While he gets settled in, I'll go ahead and read these liners, get this stuff out of the way. These headlines are brought to you by Doral Volkswagen. At Doral Volkswagen, you can choose from over 300 new Volkswagen models in stock like the Tiguan, the Taos, and Atlas. And remember, when it comes to Volkswagen, the great deals are at Doral Volkswagen. Miami Heat yesterday victorious, of course. We've been talking about it all day, but there are some other headlines, including, like I just mentioned, Dame Lillard out indefinitely with the blood clots. When you saw that story, Leroy, what was your first thoughts? Please.
Tough break for him. Like, he's one of those guys that handled himself accordingly. And so I felt bad. Uh-oh. He made a run for it.
Yeah. Look at that. Look at that transition. Call to the bullpen.
Call to the bullpen.
What's up, Leroy?
What's up, man?
Last night's results.
Yeah, I was actually pretty amazed at two things.
That Bam came to play.
That Bam just sauteed Draymond Green.
Oh yeah, he cooked.
And I don't think people realize how unique the athleticism of Kel'el Ware is at 7 feet.
Monster yesterday, dude.
And I saw 2 blocks that only a handful of people could pull off. That Wiggins
Wiggins
block when he got from the paint to the 3-point line and got a hand on it. That's rare. That's rarefied air right there. So it was good seeing it all come together. I like the fact the thing that I was impressed with the most. They saw Bam cooking Draymond. Guess who had the ball in his hands? That's the way basketball is played.
I like the fact Spo let him play the whole quarter.
Right. Yeah. You see somebody getting cooked, you keep cooking them. You know, all of a sudden go through offense. That is your offense right now until they do something differently. And then when they start doing something differently and you got guys making threes, now they up against it.
Couple other headlines we haven't had a chance to discuss. Leroy, did you see the Giants? The Giants have made an addition to the roster at quarterback. Super Bowl winning quarterback Russell Wilson has agreed to a 1-year deal, according to Adam Schefter.
Really?
Up to potentially $21 million, including 10.5 guaranteed. What do you think? What do you think of potentially the projected starting QB for the Giants?
I feel like that's the Giants.
Like, makes sense.
I don't feel it. It does make sense. They're trying to have somebody hold down the fort until they can get all their, everything in order. To go and spend a whole bunch of money for a quarterback right now, with where the rest of your team is, has the looks of Daniel Jones. Let me just put it out there.
Leroy, they can't draft a quarterback knowing their coach is on the hot seat.
Well, no, I'm saying until they. I'm not saying they're going to do it this year. Right. I'm just saying until they make that commitment to quarterback, I don't think they should be spending a lot of money on a quarterback simply because your team ain't ready for a quarterback to be the final piece or icing on the cake.
They have the lowest win odds next season, I think.
Yeah,
Like half.
yeah, I can see it.
The March for Arch. That's what they're saying.
The March for Arch. Got it.
Hard times for the Giants.
That's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie to you. I thought Tank for Tua was good. That was good.
You like that, huh?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
They're
better-
working on it.
Fall on the sword for Cam
And
Ward.
you know what sucks about that,
Oh,
right? Are they looking at their coach and going, makes no sense to get a new coach now?
that's what I'm
That's just-
saying.
Yeah.
Because the owner said, this is it for you guys. I mean, rest in peace. They're on the foreman. And they had to make a move. And everybody thinks they should get Shedeur Sanders or a quarterback. But if you don't win this season, and then your coach and general manager gets fired, and the new coach and general manager comes in, and they don't like the quarterback you drafted, then what happens?
Correct. It's a tough spot to be in. But here's the problem. What if they mysteriously go 9-8?
Oh, then you give Russell a 2-year deal, and you get Sierra on Good Morning America.
No, but what I'm saying is, what does that do for the coach and the GM? You keep
Well, I mean, do they get the playoffs? Is it 9-8 and in the playoffs?
No, you ain't making the playoffs at 9-8
Playoff.
with the Eagles and the rest, the Commanders in your division. If you get to 9-8, that's called respectable and exceeds what everybody thinks of your team and your franchise. So if you do that, even though you don't get the playoffs, are you gonna put all that on the GM and the coach also?
We didn't get a chance to talk about this either, according to Adam Schefter.
What did he say?
Yesterday, Stephon Diggs signing with the Patriots.
Patriots got all that money, man.
3-year, $69 million.
It's really a 1 year.
What?
It's really a 2-year deal.
They gave him $69 million and he's on a
$26 million guaranteed, $22 million per year. And
Coming
he
back
is
from a
coming
torn
back from
ACL.
a torn ACL in week 8. He's on track to return by week 1 of the upcoming season.
They got to give Drake May somebody to throw to.
yeah.
Yeah,
And-
Drake May is pretty good. I'll give him credit.
And I don't know if they
Mobile.
want to draft that wide receiver from Arizona that early.
Yeah, it's fair.
I mean, but
And they got money to spend.
dude, I don't know how to handle people making assumptions. Oh, he'll return from that injury. You know what I mean? If your team is too young and all of your signings and the guys you bring in have to contribute, right? That means you don't have the luxury of having a guy return week 5. Then I don't know if I'm giving a big contract to somebody who's injured and can't play right away. They say he'll be ready. So, but I just there's things that you can't control. Like, you can't control health. You think you can. You think you can get an idea of what's going on or whatever. But the thing is on your road to recovery, there could be some setbacks. And you imagine giving somebody $69 million to be your number 1 and he don't play till week 6, then what are we doing?
Things are quiet on the home front. No major moves made by the Dolphins.
There's no
Although,
moves to make, really.
correct. Well, other than re-signing your own guys, I would like to see Calais Campbell signed already. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's making me nervous.
I do too.
Here's
but
the deal.
I-
The money is there. They made him an offer.
Yeah.
I think it's more along the lines of not whether he's going to take the offer, but whether he's going to play. Right? So we all trying to make it sound like he kicking the tires to go other places. I think he likes it here.
I think he does too, but the allure of a championship or potentially a higher contract if
Okay.
you are towards the end of your
I asked Vlad this. I'm
Yeah.
gonna ask you this again. If you're a free agent and you want to win a championship, what team are you signing with?
Potentially the Chiefs.
What,
The
I'm playing with Patty?
Eagles.
You don't want to play with Patty?
Yeah, you got to play with Pat.
Come
And Chris
on,
Jones.
you don't want to play with Pat? And
No,
Andy
I'm not
Reid?
saying that. I'm just saying, are they? And so
I play for.
let me get this straight.
Philly.
If
How
you
much
Calais,
is it?
if you, I don't know what the answer is. That's why I'm asking. If you Calais Campbell, you think your best chance to win a championship is with Kansas City?
No, I
Yeah.
think one of my top 3 chances for
Why
sure.
not? Okay, I give you 3 I give you 3 picks.
Philly.
So you say Kansas City number 1, Philly
Yeah.
number 2,
And Detroit
and
number
Detroit
3.
number 3.
okay.
Those
So
are 3 teams.
you don't think any other team in the AFC is worthy?
He could go back to Baltimore. You went to Baltimore before.
I'll go to Buffalo too.
So, but you're gonna see that's 5 teams.
So I'm naming 5 teams before I would stay here in Miami.
Really?
Yeah, I just named 5 teams.
If I want to,
No. I know. I'm saying, but still, like sometimes having too many choices is not better, it's worse. Having to pick what team you think gives you the best chance to win a championship is probably the hardest decision that you'll ever make. See, it's easy when you're an athlete to say, well, they gave me more money, where this is near home, or this. When you say, I want an opportunity to win a championship, that's why I did this. That's the hardest reason to make a decision to go to a team. Because again, the Chiefs went back to back, something that ain't happened in a long time, and made it to the 3rd Super Bowl. But if you look around the league, there's a lot of teams that are coming up. And I promise you, if I would have taken a healthy Detroit and put them in the same spot as Philly, they would have beat the hell out of Kansas City also.
If wasn't 5th, we all be drunk. Okay.
No, but I'm just
didn't happen
like,
like that.
okay, but when
all I know for the
you're
last
making a decision.
But all I know is for the last 6 years, the team that's been in the AFC Championship, absolutely given, it's been the Kansas City Chiefs.
I got you. All right.
So,
So
Tom
that's
is the
you picking the Chiefs. You say if I have a choice, if I have a pick of the litter,
I
where
want
I'm
to
going
stay
to
in
go.
the AFC. I would stay. And they had a choice. I could play with Chris Jones and I could play with Patty.
Okay.
Upset Patty's gonna be great.
Yeah. Now, hopefully,
You think he's gonna get some abs, or you gonna keep the dad bod?
Nah, you keep the dad bod.
Nah. He was even
You
scared.
see how Tua is? Tua's got a dad bod right now.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Off season.
Jesus.
Don't make nothing of it.
That's
Off
exactly
season.
it. Don't worry about it.
Rough. One last thing before we go to break. Not sure if you guys saw about this rule change, attempting to somehow make the kickoff more entertaining, as it has been completely removed from the game. The NFL Competition Committee is set to change the spot of touchbacks from the 30-yard line to the 35-yard line.
Jesus Christ, they just want more scoring.
This is apparently in an effort to further boost the rate of returns.
How?
There's a less sentiment to move the spot of the kick itself, meaning if you kick it to the touchback, it's going to be boring for television. So therefore, you're giving up 35 yards. But if you kick it in the zone so that they can return it, that's good for television. So therefore, we'll figure it out. That's just kind of because they just got tired of the touchbacks, because people were like, I'll settle for the 30. They're trying to make it like people won't settle for the 35. They'll settle for the 35, dude. Eventually, they're going to be like, all right, well, we're moving touchbacks to the 40. And they're like, well, why do we even do this kick then? And people are going to start only onside kicking. What we need to do is what the XFL did. You put a ball in the middle, you have 2 people run to it. That's
you want Oklahoma? That's what you want. You want Oklahoma?
Yes, dude. And I want that to become a position that is now scouted in the NFL draft process of like,
all right.
who's
to be
gonna
fair,
be...
if you really want to make it,
A gladiator.
if you really want to make people kick off to those zones,
Yeah.
say if they don't, if it's a touchback, you just automatically put it to 50. Now they
See, now
now they're not gonna mess around.
But what
Nobody
are we
wants to
doing?
start.
But that's what I'm saying. But now they're gonna
35 is
say-
like 35. It's only
that's still
20 yards. You're in field goal range.
I mean, 35. They're like, all right, well, you know what? Whatever. I'll do that. That's fine. I don't care.
I could give up a field goal if I have a good defense.
50.
So let me get this straight. Let me get
Wait a
this.
minute now.
So then now they're gonna at that point though they're gonna be like, all right, well, I'm onside kicking then. If I'm giving it up at the 50, I'm just gonna onside kick every time. And then that's your game.
You can't.
But if you onside kick, you have to announce it beforehand.
Yeah, you gotta let
Yeah,
them know.
And you onside kick it from your own what 20?
From your own
Where
20.
where
What you doing?
where are they kicking off from now?
Let's see. Where do you because where you kick off is different from where you line up, which is why this whole thing is like stupid. I really they've ruined the onside kick. Or they've ruined the
So
kick.
they're moving the players back.
Oh my god. Is this true?
Yeah.
Hold on. I'm reading things about this that I didn't even know it was this bad. This is so stupid. In the NFL, onside kicks are only allowed in the fourth quarter now. Only by the team that is trailing. They must declare their intention.
Yeah.
And it says beyond the setup zone, there's like a setup zone. Return team would start the drive at the 20-yard line if you don't do it properly. Like, this is stupid. This is all stupid.
Why?
Put the ball at the middle, have two men run for their lives. That is
Hey, clearly you haven't been in one of those collisions.
hell no. That is crazy. Special teams is crazy.
I would say if you take and move the kickoff point, it's at the 20 now.
Let's see.
Where does the kicker kick from? The 20 or the 30?
Where does the kicker kick from?
No, I think he has a running start. Like he's not even kicking from
No, the kicker is by himself kicking off
He kicks from the 35-yard line.
right.
right now. And
Right.
then the other players are at the other 20 or the other 25. Your defenders.
He kicks off from the 30 or from the 35. The defenders
Or like the 50.
are at the 40.
Yeah, they're 40. They're 10 yards ahead.
No, but they're at all the players on the kicking team, apart from the kicker, are at the receiving team's 40. Yeah.
Right.
So they're like crossing.
So and then where's the regular people, the return team is at the 35?
Yeah, because they're 5 yards apart.
Okay. So here's what I would do.
What are we even doing?
Here's what I would do. I would move the kicker to the 25.
All right, we're moving them back.
Move the kick return team to their own. They're normally line up on the 20.
Yeah.
I move them up 5 yards and then move the kick team back 5 yards or 10 yards. So I want them 10 yards apart instead of 5. And I want it back. If you want to promote returns, you have to give the return team or the receiving team a chance to set up a blocking scheme.
Why can't we
Yeah.
just go back to the old ways without
Bro.
the wedges and people getting hurt?
Because
Figure out.
I'm gonna tell you like this: I didn't have no wedge, and I wasn't busting no wedge when I ended up in the hospital run down on kickoff.
Yeah.
It's,
Look,
it's what they're trying to avoid is the sheer collision of it all. But what I would say is 5 yards if you want a return. You want a game plan. You want special teams to have a game plan based around returns and trying to do things to make that a viable play. You can't have the guys 5 yards apart so that the return team never has a chance to set up and block them. That's why the return guys just let it go. So if you want to promote a return, the way to do it is how much distance do I need to put between the kick team and the receiving team so that the receiving team can also game plan and have a blocking scheme. 5 yards is not enough. So I don't care where you move the kickoff or where you move anybody else. If they're 5 yards apart, you don't have an opportunity, a viable opportunity for them to make a play of it. So they're going to always let it go.
That's boring, dude. Ball at the 50, one guy at the other side, one guy at the other side. They run at each other. You got to get the ball because it's become skill. Everyone can be fast. You got to get the ball. And then you're fighting for it. And if someone gets injured, it's only one guy at a time, baby. That's easy.
All you have to do is move the return team and the kickoff team 5 more yards apart. It then gives the return team an opportunity to set up a play, either a left return or a right return. You cannot do that 5 yards apart.
Too many injury risks, Leroy.
No, it's not 10 yards apart.
Benefits. The gambling, you want to bet on the coin toss, that's 50-50. Now you can bet on the kickoff 50-50. Who will get it? Will it be the Eagles? Will it be the Giants? No one knows. We're all dependent. We're looking at this guy. How has he been running in practice? What's this guy's 40 time versus this guy's 40 time? What technique is he going to use? Is he going to dive at the ball first? Is he going to try to knock him out like the guys like?
Do me a favor.
You're definitely going to pick this guy who has some Greco wrestling skills.
See? But now we doing it. Now we doing it like a hockey. What do you call it?
Like a hockey fight?
Face off.
Yeah.
Marcos, let me say this. There's nothing that bothers me more than people that truly do not understand what that collision is like.
Yeah.
Trying to promote that collision.
That collision is horrible.
I ended up in the hospital.
Yeah.
Trying to tackle because I had never tackled before.
Yeah.
The smallest guy in the NFL.
That's why you should.
And I'm not soft.
No,
nobody called you soft, Leroy.
You should never be.
No, but I'm just saying. I hit a guy, tried to tackle a guy.
He got the best of you.
No, I turned my head, full speed. He hit me right on the side. Night. Next thing I heard was, "You want the sirens or you want to ride in quiet?"
See, but that's what adds to my point, though. That's why a running back doesn't need to be on special teams. A backup tight end doesn't need to be on special teams. It needs to be the one guy who's been training for the gladiator run, which I have now named it. It is no longer the kickoff. It is the gladiator run.
Why don't you just use American Gladiators? Why don't you just have them just grab
they get a stick? You think they get a stick with the ooh, now you're talking. Now we're talking. But this person is trained, and it's only one guy. It's only one guy.
Why don't you have them joust? That's what, the joust.
Wow.
Why don't you have them just joust for
what's wrong with you?
For possession. That's
Marcos.
That's what he wants.
I told you all you need to do is put them 10 yards apart. That way the return team has a better chance to scheme a return. That's it. You can leave everything the same. If you want to promote more returns, you can move the kicker back 5 yards. They still kicking it in the bleachers if they want to.
But that doesn't solve the injury problem because we still have 20 people on the field, which increases our chance of injury by 20 times as opposed to the gladiator joust. There's only 2 people on the field. What's the worst that can happen?
What's the worst that can happen?
Even if both of them get injured, you know how many people get injured on the kickoff? You got 10 people running this way, 10 people running that way.
Let me tell you something.
Back block. This guy tears an ACL.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I have to be the only person that got concussed at a Pro Bowl.
No, the punter for the Washington football team. When Sean Taylor decided this was real football, not Pro Bowl.
That's what happened to me. I was on rundown kickoff, and I was just running. The returner ran out of bounds, and somebody came and cleaned me out. And I told them, "Say you better hope and pray that you're not in this game the next time I come and run a play.
I hope he took your advice.
Really? You gonna fight in Hawaii?
Yep.
You gonna fight in Hawaii, bro?
Yep.
Fighting Hawaii,
Look at
dude.
me,
How you gonna
Vlad.
fight in Hawaii?
Vlad.
There's a luau going on every night. Come on,
Vlad.
now. You gonna fight in
Pineapple
Hawaii?
fight.
Come on, I know all the food that's out
Here.
there. For you gonna fight? You wanna fight?
Let me explain to you. The only times I've ever gotten into it in football is the one phrase I hate more than anything.
What's that?
Is we all in this together. When guys say we all worried about, I'm like, no, you're not. Why would you hit me in a Pro Bowl on the sidelines like that? I'm offended because you think I'm not one of you, or you just think you're gonna have something to joke and laugh about. Well, no, that ain't happening. So now we have a problem. So I don't know what the other 20 guys are doing, but me and you playing football from here on out. And so when any time in football where I've gotten a feeling that, oh, this guy wants to hurt somebody, or this guy is trying to get his name on TV or whatever by hitting somebody like that, I'm like, okay, no worries. No worries. I got something for that.
What year was this, Leroy?
Yeah, well, yeah, I gotta look this up.
No, because it got to be not an NFC linebacker if he's talking like that.
Yes.
Somebody hit him, so it's got to be like.
I know exactly who it was.
Wilbur Marshall.
No.
What year was this?
Derek Brooks.
No, it wasn't Derek Brooks.
Not Derek Brooks.
It wasn't Singletary.
Nope. I'm not telling you.
I know you don't got to tell me.
There's one guy who knows.
You don't got to tell me. I'm gonna know.
There's one guy who
LT.
knows.
It ain't LT.
No. There's
No,
one guy who knows. Tobin knows.
Tobin knows. All right.
I'll know. I'll
Don't
find
think so.
out.
All right, when we come back,
Ricky Jackson,
actually,
No,
before we
me
go-
and Ricky cool.
Pat Twilling.
Not Pat Swilling. Not none of them.
Leroy, I know you're not going to tell us which linebacker, but can
Chris
you tell
Doman?
us about?
Tell me about Liv though.
Tell me about Live Golf, please.
Oh, you want to know about Liv?
Please.
Guys, it's that time of year. Liv is coming back to Trump National Doral, April 4th through the 6th. You know they're going big. You know they're going to have a party, music, DJ sets, epic street food, ska punk legend Sublime headlining on Saturday night. Go out there and see some of the giants of the game. By the way, let me add, all major championship winners. A couple of these guys, multiple. John Rahm, Bryson DeChambeau, Brooks Koepka, Sergio Garcia will be there, Phil Mickelson. The list goes on and on. Grab your tickets at livegolf.com. That's livegolf.com.
Welcome back to the Tobin and Leroy show. Vlad here holding things down in the driver's seat. Figgy in the background getting her makeup done. Leroy holding things down from Casa Hoard. You have a teenager at home still for spring break, correct?
Oh, goodness.
How's that?
Dude, I got, first of all, I don't know what it is. For some reason, my kids think this is a restaurant.
Yeah, I was gonna say
so
that.
This morning, she got up and it smells lovely. She in there making crepes.
Oh, wow.
So I'm not a crepe guy.
Yeah.
I don't know why I've never gotten into crepes. You know, but
I can tell you because you weren't rich growing up. Because I can't tell you any 17-year-old or 16-year-old who had the idea even of I'm gonna make crepes.
No, it has nothing to do with money.
Crepes.
You want me to tell you what it has to do with?
Oh, she went to France. She's cultured.
No, my wife's from Canada. That's what they eat.
French Canadian. That's interesting. I still just I guess I don't know too many French people, I guess, but never have I had the thought of like I'm just gonna make some crepes at home.
I think crepes are just lazy pancakes.
Crepes?
You said crepes?
Crepes?
Crepes.
Crepes. Crepes.
So I don't know how that works.
Yeah.
You know, I see her in there I see her in there cooking. Now Mima knows what's up.
Yeah.
Mima make me a bacon and egg sandwich in the morning.
Now we're talking.
Ooh, 3 eggs over medium.
Yeah.
With the bacon. I throw a little piece of cheese on it.
Yeah.
Oh, my day starts off right.
Take that, Canada.
It's much harder to make. Yeah, crepes are harder to make than pancakes.
Yeah.
Your timing has to be on point.
They're thin. Like I used to see, like when I went to Aventura Mall, they had like a guy who was making them there, and I thought it was a luxury of some sort. That's why I was like, what's crepes?
There's certain items in the world that are very similar, but prepared just a little bit differently, right? All over. So something that you would look at as being fancy is actually normal for, you know, a Canadian. I don't like the bread. Now I do like you know, like how pancakes can be real bready. Like you put the butter and the syrup on it, thick. But a waffle, oh, I love a good waffle. Love a good waffle.
Well, I love a good weather report, Leroy. Can you give me a
weather report? All right.
Brought to you by the Demesman and Dover Law Firm, your accidentattorneys.com. Free consultation 24/7. 866 954
happy family. All right. I'm looking at it. I previously thought yesterday, because it was mostly cloudy, that we had a slight chance for rain. Up north, they got pounded. It did not rain down here. Now I'm looking at it as like mostly sunny, winds coming out of the north.
Yep.
No, wait, hold on. Coming out of the northeast at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. It looks really lovely. I'm gonna say it's about 78 degrees because it's a little bit sooner. And it doesn't look like there's much chance of rain, but up where Tobin lives, they got pounded. I saw them wow. Leroy runs over the ad read like that special teams player ran over him.
You know, when that wouldn't happen during the gladiator joust, no need to run over anyone. You got to be skillful and quick. Thank you for that weather report, Leroy. I believe it has listed here 82 degrees.
Oh, it's that warm already, huh? All
That's
right.
what it says. That's what it says. It even feels like 85 apparently. So
It's warm.
it's
Okay.
warm, but have no fear. It is a perfect temperature right here on the Tobin and Leroy show. Make sure you stick around because we're going to play our favorite Wednesday game when we come back.
Oreo?
Me
Me and Oreo, a Latino Oreo.
Oh,
Me and Vlad,
yeah.
and then we got, what is it, Dolce de Leche in the middle.
Did they ever? That flavor? That sounds like the Dulce de Leche.
Huh?
Dulce
But you
de-
got to do Dolce de Leche in the middle with vanilla. You know what I'm saying? You can't do
Yeah,
chocolate.
they have that. Yeah.
They have it. We couldn't even have Vlad. They wouldn't even let us have Oreos. They had to go ahead on and put vanilla on that.
Yeah.
Can't have nothing.
Just a little bit better. Add a little bit of class to the Oreo. Am I right?
Wait, you making it sound like you vanilla. Oh no, brother. You closer to us than hey, you better stop.
Dulce de Leche Oreo though sounds pretty delicious. Although I never had it. I'm looking at pictures of it right now, and I'm thinking some pretty naughty things. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's on
For
DoorDash.
what? The Dolce de Leche Oreo?
Yeah, I can DoorDash it to here. It says it'll be here in 39 minutes.
Damn. So basically it's two white
No, it's two normal Oreos, but on the inside,
black.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's the only thing we had. And then they done took that too. Made white Oreos.
Bastards.
Can't have nothing.
Gave us the shortest month too.
Tell you what though. I
They made
know
genres
I
out
know
of it.
something. I know something that they'll never mess with. Pig lips.
Oh,
Hey, there's some food items that I grew up with. The only people in Louisiana eating it.
chitlins.
No, let me tell you.
Gross.
Can I just tell you?
Yeah.
I had chitlins before. They're not bad.
All right.
But the whole block stinks when you're trying to cook them. And that part of it is a turnoff.
Well, not to turn you off anymore. Rats off a ship when we come back.
Got what you
So I'm
Welcome
coming
on
in
in
tomorrow.
to the Tobin and Leroy show. I didn't hear you just now, Leroy.
I said I'm coming in tomorrow.
You are. Wow.
Yeah.
Unfortunate news. I won't be here tomorrow.
I'll be here.
Yeah. I'll be on the show, but I just won't be in person.
That's
Why is Snitchy Mouse back to school?
No, she wants to come.
Oh, okay. Nice. All right, well that's fun.
Do you
Leroy.
have the- hold on. Whoa.
Yeah. What I do?
I've seen your equipment. Do you have the setup to do the show from your house?
That's fair. Fair assessment. That's fair.
like it's one thing to listen. This setup not done by me.
No. It is a nice setup.
My IT guy.
Yes.
He got all kind of stuff. He can record. He can do video. So while people see my setup, it is not me.
Yeah.
That sets this up. My IT guy is awesome.
He's done a great job for sure.
Yeah. So you're not gonna do like Robbie and be sitting in a closet.
No. This time, no. I even have a little green screen thing that attaches to my chair that I'm interested in trying out, because if that works,
oh, dude,
then Silly Sauce is gonna keep going.
We are not.
Just a little bit of
trying
experiment.
stuff.
No, just a little experiment.
Nobody hate. Everybody has that friend that always tries stuff,
Just try a little bit of
and
that.
it don't never work out.
Nah, this one's gonna be smooth. You'll see, smooth.
Got you a green screen.
Got a green screen. Got a good microphone.
Should I get a green screen?
No, you're good. Your background looks cool. I like looking at your background. I see the piano there, the soundproofing, the LED lights. You're good. You're all good there. All right, Leroy, I'm gonna start off with the topic number 1 here. You let me know how you are feeling on these things. We got something coming to the movies this weekend, Leroy. Snow, it's actually already out, but I want to know, spring break, you're gonna have an opportunity to see this Snow White live action. Leroy, we are bringing it back. Snow White is back.
Did you say live?
Live action. That means, although I do think the 7 dwarves are going to be CGI. We got Gal Gadot.
Wait. Why we got to CGI the doors?
Hey, I mean, you can't find five other Jimmys.
They're all wrestling.
Oh man, jeez, Jimmy. Oh my God, that's just
that's
so
on the
wrong.
list. That's a point. That's a point. That's not on the list.
It's wrong, but I mean,
That's
it's a
not on the
point.
list.
But it's wrong.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it's still
Not
a
on the
point.
list. Hey,
you know?
that's inbounds.
Well, wait a minute.
What was
the Santa Claus movie with
Oh yeah, Billy Bob Thornton and the other guy.
No, not that one. The
Oh,
one where he was the brother of Santa Claus.
Huh.
Vince
Vince Vaughn.
Oh,
Vince Vaughn.
Yeah.
Right. Remember, all those were famous actors that were CGI'd as little people, except for the black dude.
Yeah. I'm not sure why they chose to because potentially some of these characters could have less than favorable personalities, and I don't know. They took the.
What are you trying to say? That most of them were angry?
No, just one from what I hear.
Oh, okay.
So are you rats off a ship? Is that something you're gonna just take a peek at, maybe?
How can I say this? There's one name you mentioned that I'm never gonna be rats off a ship.
Oh, Gal Gadot.
Yep.
She's hot.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah.
Not
Tall.
rats off the ship.
She's a tall drink of water.
In the desert.
She's Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman.
What about you, Vlad?
I even watched the second garbage Wonder Woman because she was in it.
Don't even remember what the movie was about. Great movie though.
I just liked her in her costume.
The other girl was good. Well, who's the one that was the villain?
What? Kristen Wiig?
Yeah.
The comedian?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, in the outfit, like just seeing her regularly, Gal Gadot is beautiful whatever role she's in.
I am a big Gal Gadot fan, but I am rats off the ship.
Oh,
you know what her first movie was, right?
Nope.
What?
Fast and Furious.
Oh,
Right, yeah.
I didn't know that.
First known movie, probably.
First known movie.
All right, number 2 on the list, Paul American, Leroy, the Paul Brothers reality show premiering
geez.
on HBO Max tomorrow.
Let me save you with the explanation.
All right.
Rats off a ship.
Rats off a ship. All right. That's fair. Had enough of the Paul Brothers, apparently.
It's not that I've had enough of them. It's that I don't need more of them.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's fair. Perfect amount of Paul Brothers.
I appreciate what they do because, a lot of these influencers or how they started, you don't ever hear about them taking care of others.
Yeah.
And so I'm never going to hate on the Paul brothers because what they have done through the fight game to get other fighters paid.
Yep.
But that don't mean that you could get me to watch you doing other stuff.
That's fair. That's fair. Vlad,
Rats off a ship.
Rats off the ship. All right. And the last one on the way out, gentlemen, do you know what week it is?
Shark Week,
Miami Week, Music
Frog
Week,
Week.
Ultra Week.
Frog Week and Miami Music Week, aka Ultra Week, like Vlad just said. So I'm gonna ask you guys, like I do annually, the Ultra Music Festival. Leroy.
I'm rats off a ship. It's outside my demographics.
Rats off a ship.
Fair.
If you'd asked me 30 years ago,
Yeah. Well, you better watch out because we're gonna have some Ultra Music Festival Family Feud later on.
Oh, Jesus.
That's right, baby.
well, then we got to have
Richard
Black
Flood.
Widow.
Yeah.
We got to have JFig on.
JFig's gonna be on there to defend her title as the Family Feud champ.
Instead of Richard Dawson, we have Richard Frogson over
Frogson.
here. Yeah, come on, man. With your Family Feud. Get out of here.
Ribbon Dawson.
Ultra. Point.
Point for
Ribbon Frogson is funny.
Do you are you rats off the ship on Ultra Music Festival, Vlad?
Nah, yeah, man. I'm off that, man.
Rats off a ship.
Back in the days, yeah. What am I gonna do?
Oh, no. Somebody, Nick T. No, player. Imagine Leroy back in the day with Ultra with a Jerry curl. Back then. So get your soul.
That'd be nice. That'd be a sight to see indeed. Just like the rest of the show will be a sight to see. Got 2 hours left on the Tobin and Leroy show. We'll be back. More shenanigans after this.
Yeah. All I do is win, no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up.
And they stay there.
And they say, yeah.
Welcome back to the Tobin and Leroy Show. Frog Week on the Tobin and Leroy Show, as our boy Tobin is out, although he was kind enough to take a break from his vacation and join us in the first hour to give us a boots on the ground review.
Oh, how was he?
Man, smitten.
Smitten.
That's probably the best way to describe it.
I love that word.
Smitten. Not only did he get his favorite thing of seeing children dressed in Steph Curry jerseys crying on the way home, he also got to see Jimmy Butler completely freeze in front of the home crowd. House of Highlights and Bleacher Report and NBA.com will tell you that he was met with cheers and he acknowledged the crowd and blah, blah, blah. Real ones know he was met with boos every single time he touched the ball.
Wasn't he? But he was applauded.
Yeah, there was a mix.
When the announcement, when his name was announced.
They played the video and there was a mixed response for sure.
Because Bobby Marks of ESPN was on first Get Up, and he was kind of disappointed with this Miami Heat fans.
You know, that's another thing that I saw old scum Steve Kerr say afterwards. People were asking him.
Fair weather, that's what he said.
Fair weathered fans. He literally brought up the weather. He literally mentioned that South Florida is a great place to live in, but it never really got ruckus as you would expect. Like, for example, a Boston would, because Boston is such a miserable place with miserable people. Of course, they would be angry in any other scenario, much like Philly, another place of miserable people in a miserable city, dump of America, if I will. Other than that, Steve Kerr had the nerve, after getting spanked, to disparage the Miami Heat crowd. But I know the truth. We know the truth. What do you guys think? They played the video, and we had Mike Biamonte hit him with the Jimmy Butler. Were we okay with that? Or,
I'm okay with that. Listen, everybody's trying to be professional. Yeah. Which is more than I could say for Jimmy when he was.
Everybody on this side is trying to be professional.
And so what I would say is this. Here's the thing that I'm amazed with. Why is everybody shocked the way Jimmy played? That's the way Jimmy played when he was with the Heat the last few months.
Well, look, no one is shocked as a Heat fan. We've seen this all the time. But I guess from the outside looking in, the lore of Jimmy Butler surrounds him, that when you piss off that bear, it doesn't matter. He's going to come to play. But
he's not a pissed off bear.
Look, you thought he was going to drop 50, Vlad.
I didn't forget.
I didn't forget.
I did think that he was going to be petty. And the question was who was going to be petty.
Yeah.
So I thought that definitely if he was going to be petty.
Leroy said he was going to drop 40.
No, Leroy didn't think that.
No, I did not.
Leroy was against. He was the one that was going. That. He differed. He said no.
I didn't. No, I didn't.
No, that's never been his MO. That's what Leroy said. So, therefore, yeah, for the pettiness and for the drama, because we all love drama, TNT or Triple G, either way, we all love drama. So for the drama, for the simple fact that TNT picked up this game, they moved other games, picked up this game. Yeah, you wanted to see that.
You know what I would have loved to hear? Kaboom.
Couldn't
do it.
No, you couldn't do it. But the game went the way the Miami Heat would have wanted. It was like it was. If there was a game plan, that was to a T. When's the last time they shot 68% from 3-point line?
I've never seen that. That was an Alec Burks career game yesterday. That was amazing.
But the only problem I have
for 28, 68%.
Come on.
The only problem I have with the Heat is that for the last few years, you've been playing Russian roulette with players in hopes that one of them would get hot. And it's paid off most of the time. And now it's not. Because sometimes you change the lineup and it's still the same result. And so that's where I think this caught up to Miami. As far as Jimmy dropping 50, like Jimmy has done it, but that's not his MO. His MO is 17 to 20, 2 steals, 5 to 10 rebounds, 5 to 10 assists. That's what he is. So my question to you, Vlad, is as great as Jimmy is, and I'm not disputing that, can Jimmy be your number one based on the style of basketball that he plays?
No.
Right. And the Heat got away with it for a very long time.
Well, when he was younger,
right,
he could get away with it, but he's going to be 37. And look, I've always said this. I agree with Pat not giving him the extension. You're not going to, it doesn't make sense to give somebody a 2-year extension when they're already signed. And the extension is when he's going to be 39. I'm not giving nobody $60 million when he's 39, unless you're LeBron James. You're not. Sorry, can't do it. But my whole thing was, you knew where this was going to lead to. Both parties knew where it's going to lead to. And at the end of the day, both parties stood to the MO. The Heat, first-class organization, did the things their way. No stain on their jacket, no stain on their cloth. And Jimmy, well, Jimmy showed who Jimmy has always been, from Chicago to Minnesota to Philadelphia to here. And he got his way. So at the end of the day, everybody got what they wanted. Because now you got Andrew Wiggins, who's playing hell of basketball the last 3 games.
Maple Jordan.
Hey, I'm telling you what, I was more shocked, not by his scoring ability, because he's a smooth scorer, right? But the way he defended the wing, that right there was something special.
I even tell Tyler, I know Jimmy kind of bodied him.
Tyler tries to slap the floor.
Yeah, exactly. He was doing a lot of scooting. But yeah, people got by it pretty quickly. But
I think here, and I'm not saying Wiggins is better than Jimmy, but I would say this. Wiggins is more of what the Heat need, because you can count on that 20, 25 points on a nightly basis, right? And when scoring the last couple of years has been non-existent, and when you've been searching for scoring and adjusting your lineups accordingly, whether through injury or guys getting cold or whatever, I think it's a perfect fit. And it allows, if Bam is that aggressive, I do believe that they have a 3-headed monster that can score enough points. If Bam is not, then you're on the lookout for another 20 points from somebody else. And that's hard to do when you have a roster of 15 guys and you don't know who you can go to from night to night. And that's what has plagued the Miami Heat the last couple of years, is that they got guys who can score, but not guys you can depend on scoring every night. Otherwise, they wouldn't be coming off the bench.
He was minus 19. You saw that his plus minus was minus 19.
Well,
you know what's not minus 19?
Yeah, what's that?
His bank account.
Oh no, look, he's winning at life. Totally. This is the only thing I have. Yesterday was my Super Bowl.
Well, your NBA final.
Super Bowl.
You're not getting that either.
That's why yesterday was all in one, baby. All in one. You can throw a World Series in there too, based off how this team's looking.
Yesterday. That you're definitely not going to see.
4-2 against the Yanks.
What? Minor league,
spring training.
Yeah.
Can't even name. I went to the roster to see if I can talk about this and say, hey, this person hit a home run, and I was like, who the hell is this guy? God bless the Marlins.
I'll be there tomorrow.
Will you?
Yes.
Did you do the 4-for-4 deal? 4 hot
No,
dogs?
I'm covering the game.
Oh,
I'm actually gonna go see these people that are made the roster.
Ah,
So after the game, I'm gonna get a book,
book.
a Marlins book, and see who these players are.
You're definitely gonna have to
A
find out.
baseball reference book and be like, hey, okay,
Perfect.
yeah,
Perfect. Hey man, you're at ground zero, so I appreciate it.
it's gonna be like that tomorrow.
Yeah,
Nah, it's gonna be a packed house. They played the Pirates, Paul Skeens.
Oh,
Maybe Livy Dunn will be there.
oh, okay. Yeah, they are dating, aren't they?
Yeah.
What about isn't there a guy? No, he plays for the Reds. Don't they have like a no? I think he plays for the Pirates.
O'Neal Cruz?
Yeah, he's cool.
Yeah,
He's pretty cool.
he's fast.
Very fast. Isn't that crazy when you talk about Marlins games? You're like, oh, what team is coming on in? You know, what star am I going to see from the opposing team?
Oh yeah,
That's fun. We got more on the Tobin and Leroy show. I mentioned it earlier. We're going to play a little bit of Family Feud. You never know what kind of silliness is going to pop up on there. Also, don't forget, we got 4 Miami Heat tickets to give away. We are giving away 4 Miami Heat tickets for you to see the Grizzlies on April 3rd. That is right around the corner. That and much more on the Tobin and Leroy show.
Men.
Nobody, you think that come on. I know who this is.
Who's this?
Rod Stewart.
Well, you're not supposed to know. You got 4 in a wrong, and I was trying to see.
I didn't get 4 in the wrong. I just
I
did.
got it
I
wrong.
just forgot.
You didn't answer it though.
I didn't.
Samurai stuff you just did right here. I
I
didn't get it wrong. I just didn't get it right.
I've been in a deep dive into Avengers Doomsday.
Doomsday.
Yeah.
The hell is that?
Avengers Doomsday, the second, you know.
You talking about
Next
Endgame?
no, the next chapter
Oh,
after.
what the hell? Is that not out yet or something like that?
Yeah, because you know who
Oh,
When
you
is it? Oh,
you know who remember the main character got kicked off, but now he's back. Majors.
Oh, what? So they're not doing the Robert Downey Jr. is also
He died.
no, but he's also Victor Von Doom now or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
did he die or did he wink?
No, he died. They had a funeral and everything.
They did have a funeral, but things have
I
changed.
just don't believe that happens anymore in movies.
I
Someone
know.
always shows up randomly.
That is fair. That is a
But
fair.
the what's his name? Is it not Johnny? Is it Johnny Majors? John Majors?
Yeah, Jonathan Majors.
Yeah,
think
you know,
this-
you know,
this
you know, you know,
Yeah, just when his name was starting to get
Hey,
good, and all of a sudden,
you know who Miss Majors is, right?
oh, yeah,
You're giving him a lot of issues.
Megan
apparently.
Good.
Megan Good.
Megan. Okay, but
No, what
here's the
happened
thing.
is here's what happened. The audio was from the previous incident from when he got in trouble.
Yeah.
It seemed like he said that, yeah, he was a little, handsy.
Yes, I did do it. Like he
Yes.
essentially admitted
Right,
to
right,
an
right.
altercation
to
but
an
this was
altercation
recent.
that happened. No,
Yeah.
during that
No,
time.
but the audio came out recently. But
Right.
this was during the initial.
Right.
issues
The
that
audio
he was
came now
having.
because right now he has a movie that's supposed to come out that's supposed to be real. Like he
Yeah,
really,
really good
acted
from
his
what I
ass.
saw,
Yeah,
yeah.
he acted his ass off. So it's supposed to be the one.
Like him being like a bodybuilder, right?
I
Yeah,
something
yeah.
to that
I
effect.
think he's
But-
being a bodybuilder with. Like,
But yeah, it's
sexual-
supposed to get. It was a movie that was supposed to come out before when he was,
Yeah.
on all the Marvel, and he was supposed to be the next big star, and obviously got halted during the
Legal matters.
the sexual
Right,
assault.
right,
I mean,
right.
that's what I mean.
That's
Domestic.
what
I'm
I'm
sorry,
saying.
not
That's what I'm
sexual. It's
saying.
domestic.
Well, now we're getting there.
Domestic assault, and now
You know where I remember him from? Lovecraft Country. Remember that?
he's back. He's back.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Either one or two things.
Yeah.
He's that good of an actor,
He is pretty good.
or what happened was a little bit overstated.
Yeah. Sometimes maybe it's a bit of both.
It's a little bit of both, and maybe there's some people in Hollywood that don't want him to shine.
Very true. Very true.
Yeah, that could also be the case. Everybody was cool with Robert Downey Jr. when he was the star, but I'm gonna tell you this: he was on the road to recovery too.
Yes. A troubled past indeed, but he worked his way back, became
Yep. I'm all for it. Listen,
Tony
I'm
Stark.
on. Let's. I hate when we get on social media and TV and we judge. Like you can't never be caught in a bad spot in life, and you got to rebuild your image and stuff like that. It happens. That's not taking anything away from the harm or the damage you may have done to someone, but everybody should have that opportunity to fix it. And we tend to stand on our soapbox, look at other people's issues, and want to be the judge and the jury for somebody else. Until your butt get caught in a situation, then you want everybody to be understanding.
Well, Leroy, I agree. On this show, we give second chances. Got a few players that the Dolphins have picked up who are looking for a second chance, including the MILF Hunter himself, Zachary Wilson.
Don't call him Zachary.
Why? It's a new guy, new identity.
Nothing says you got a baby face and you look like you're 12, like
That's
Zachary. When you become an adult,
Yeah,
that Zachary becomes Zach.
Zach. Just
That's
gotta go
why.
with Zach.
And that's why he's the hunter.
Interesting.
Zach
Really?
Wilson.
You know any grown men you still call Zachary?
No, I don't.
Right.
I actually only
Yes.
do.
You do? Are they
No.
still in the picture or did you crop them out?
Ooh.
Because he called himself Zachary. Zachary? Whoop, 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 whoop. Out. Solo.
Well, he may have dropped the latter part of his name as he grew. But we also have a quarterback who is looking to improve. And this is what Zach Wilson had to say in regards to what he has improved since becoming a Dolphin.
I mean, just processing in the NFL, just pocket awareness, the ability to kind of progress more smoothly through my progressions and get the ball to my hands, and just maybe my understanding of the game, I feel like has just increasingly gotten better since my first year in the league.
I would say if you start hanging out with people your age, and the speed and the quickness in which they move will get you caught up to speed.
Okay.
Instead of moving around with them slow movers.
Okay. With them geezers.
Hey, Cougars still move, man.
Yeah,
but at their own pace. Slow-mo.
Aaron Rodgers does not, though. Didn't work out. Too old.
You think he has any chance of going to Pittsburgh?
I mean, if he wants to.
But the problem is that do you think both of these individuals are working themselves into a corner where that's their only option?
Oh, absolutely. Pittsburgh's
Right.
looking east right now. You lost Justin Fields, you lost Russell.
Right. What if I told you the Steelers are moving up to get a quarterback?
Yeah, they could get Shador. Either they
No.
get Shador or
Would
they get
you-
McCord.
Like
Or they get McCord.
but you know, the build of a Pittsburgh quarterback
is McCord.
is more along the lines of Jackson Dart.
Yeah, I don't like Jackson Dart.
He
Jackson Dart.
they say he throws the ball better than anybody.
I think Dart's going to New Orleans.
Cool name.
I think Kyle McCord is going to go to Pittsburgh.
Not that cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kyle McCord is also another guy that we heard big things about early on. And he transferred, and he did light it up at Syracuse.
That's perfect.
Let's hear from newly acquired wide receiver for the Dolphins, Nick Westbrook. What is his other last name?
Kine?
Akine? That makes sense. Ikehine. Which, like, I hate that people are doing this now, man. Like, this has actually been happening for a while. But Jimmy Butler turns into Jimmy Butler the third. This guy's
That was always Jimmy Butler's name, though.
Yeah, I know, but you know
Yeah,
what?
but he did it with a reason.
What's
I would have
honor his father
in a truly
I mean, we know why he chose number 10.
in a truly petty move. I would have put Junior on the back of my jersey. Right? Only because
Of Tim Hardaway?
no.
Oh.
Only because when they ask, you're a junior, then the questions would be about my father. And then I could, hey, when you find him, let me know. Right? Something like that.
So are you a junior, actually?
I am a junior.
Oh, wow.
But me and my pops are good now. We like think about this.
Yeah.
My dad, from the time I left high school to the time I got done with football, only went to one of my games.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, that's just what our relationship was, and we fixed it. And he's a firm believer, as long as you breathe in air, you can fix a situation. So we fixed it. We good now. We've been to more football games after I got done with football than we did when I played football. Think about that.
Well, at least you knew he wasn't after your money.
I'm sad and happy now.
Why? To me.
Marcus was not trying to do silly sauce, and then you just turned to reconcile story.
Here's the deal. To me, it's not a sad story. Yeah. It's a story.
Not a sad story because it got resolved, and that's
right. Exactly.
Part of your life now. That's great.
Exactly. I talk to my dad three times a week.
This was like a Dr. Phil episode in like
pretty much
2 minutes.
In 2 seconds.
But you know what it is? I always tell the story for this reason. because there's so many fathers that are in their kids' life, and you have something that nobody else has. Time. Right? The kid don't need nothing from you. He just wants your time. And you can give that. I don't care what your situation is. Don't ever feel like you have nothing to offer your kids. So from that standpoint, it's a lesson learned. And like me and my dad are cool now. But yeah.
Me and my dad are like best friends, and I'm over here trying to cry. Like, what's going on?
because let me tell you why. Because you know that there are situations out there, like that. And so I tell my story just so maybe somebody will hear it and say, you know what, you're right. You're right. I'm gonna go do the right thing, and you know what I mean? Like, kids don't know the definition of deadbeat dad. Kids don't know all that, right? All they know is if dad is there or not. So you can be a broke dad, you still dad.
That's much better than the clip I was going to play about.
I'm saying we're talking about it's all about Nick Westbrook and Steve Nash, and all of a sudden,
That was just like
on Women's Month, on International Women's Month, we're talking about fathers. I'm just saying it's
it's
hey.
How
I'm
the
all down for
turntables? Like,
no, I didn't listen. I didn't know
your
that.
father.
I do say this though every time I go into Publix.
Yeah,
I'm like, look here.
People are out here cutting onions.
I'm just saying.
I do say this. I say, how come on Mother's Day you can barely get into the front door of Publix without balloons, treats, sweets, and all that? Then on Father's Day, they have a 12-pack of Bud Light and a steak shaped like Florida.
You know what's gonna happen, right? You know what? During the commercial break, you know what commercial is gonna play?
What?
Hey, Mom. Hi.
Oh my God! When are you coming to
When are you
Columbia?
coming to Columbia?
The first time
busy,
I
Mom.
heard that commercial,
Yo,
it got to me.
Can I just say this though?
Play this segment and that commercial right after that. That's it. You got to call your parents, man.
Think about this. Like, moms and sons have a different relationship. Otherwise, there would be no such thing as mommy guilt. Y'all know what I mean. Y'all know what I mean. Your mom be like, I sure wish somebody could come over here and cut this grass. I can't afford these lawn guys. They too expensive. All right, Mama, I'll be right over. Right? And then she say, you don't have to do this. Yes, I did.
Take those wise words, call your parents if you can, and we'll be back with more Tobin and Leroy when we come back. welcome back, welcome on in. It is the Tobin and Leroy show. Want to welcome you guys. You can catch us on YouTube, Twitch, Miami 560 QAM. Catch us on the Odyssey app, but it seems Odyssey app glitched during our first hour. And unfortunately, if you go back to the rewind feature, you won't be able to listen to the first hour, which did have some pretty good content. So you'll be able to go back in our YouTube stream. That's why it's good to be on all of these multiple platforms. So you can see our boy Show Pony, who checked in and gave us a boots on the ground report, although we will be talking more Miami Heat and hearing from our players in 15 minutes of Heat coming up next hour. With all that being said, I want to get into this. I wanted to know if you guys have seen this viral morning routine that has been circulating along the internet. Leroy, have you had a chance to see this? And if you don't know what I'm talking about, then you haven't seen it. Because if I say morning routine, then you know what I'm talking about. Have you seen anything in regards to a ridiculous morning routine currently circulating the internet, Leroy?
No.
Okay. JFig, have you seen this?
I haven't actually paid attention to it, but I know what you're talking about.
Okay. So I will introduce you guys to this concept here. I am going to kind of show you and describe to our radio audience what this consists of and how it is now sweeping the internet because of simply how ridiculous this is. I believe this man is a fitness influencer, a former running back, because I did see him some of his high school highlights. But what is really more important than whatever he may be doing is how he documents his morning. And it starts as early as 3 a.m. And if I'm not mistaken, here, let's just go ahead and take a look. Let's see if I can put this to the camera for now. This gentleman here, it starts at 3:50 in the morning. He begins brushing his teeth. He goes outside. It's 4 a.m. now. He does some weird push-ups for about 10 seconds. He breathes for a little bit. He opens up his first journal of the day, meditates, goes on to another book. Mind you, this is 4 a.m. He's now watching some church-related material. This is 5:30 in the morning, and this is what's actually going crazy now. He dips his face into Saratoga water, which is very expensive water. It's the new Fiji. Then he gets, his facial.
Did I just see a banana?
Yes.
Hold on.
Yeah, press pause. What?
Yeah.
He's doing way too much.
Hold on.
Way too much.
Yeah.
Way
Oh,
too
we
much.
haven't even, guys. We're
Did
not
he
even at 8
just
a.m.
take the skin
from the banana
And wipe it on his face.
and wipe it off?
Correct,
Wipe it on
I
his face?
have heard that if you do
What?
that to your teeth, it whitens your teeth or something like that. I don't know.
I'm sure there's benefits.
Probably
to it.
the acid on it, on the banana.
I'm sure there's definitely benefits to it. Bananas have been known to have a lot of different remedies. I know you can put.
You know,
them
want to see my morning routine?
Yeah, well, I don't know if we can put that on the internet, but yeah, I would love to hear your morning routine.
I get up when I go golfing.
Schmeathan is asking a very important question. At what time does he put on a shirt?
Oh, I can tell you. Yeah, let's go back to. I think it's like 5:45. What else?
I get up at like 4 a.m.
Yeah.
I move a dog.
When we used to do morning show, I used to wake up. My alarm was at 3:30 a.m.
What time you got there?
I wasn't late to that show, okay, sir. There was no traffic.
Because there was no
or
traffic.
trains.
I look when we had the morning show, I could go right. I didn't have to go to Gratney.
You go straight through. Yeah, but that was an ungodly time to wake up. If I'm being honest, it was very strange. All right, look, let's watch this.
So wait, let me ask you a question.
Yes,
he looks relatively young, so he probably didn't play running back that long.
And he did not make the NFL, I don't think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I saw
Then why they say football star?
Because I don't know. He's like
You got to give him some kind of credibility.
Why? Other than that, really, he just he's shirtless on Instagram. That's really what he does. What everyone's getting crazy about though is the fact.
Who is this guy?
His name is Ashton Hall. He is a fitness influencer, like I mentioned here. And I guess
after the banana, the banana peel on the face.
Yeah.
What is next?
All right, let's get back into it again.
He dips his face in the water a lot.
he dips his face in the water almost too much. You see this Saratoga water? This is expensive water that we're talking about. He like rinses his mouth with it. Mind you, we're at 4 a.m. He's like lotioning his beard. He's giving himself a trim up. Again, in these weird little push-ups that he does here.
First of all, he all them muscles, he ain't play running back.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure how tall he really is, how big he looks swole. He definitely looks swole, but
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, if you're swollen 5'6",
That's the quickest reading of it. That's skimming. He's not even
Like,
reading. He's
you know,
skimming.
he's
through it.
writing.
Was he reading or writing?
All right, so
He's
now
writing. Now he puts
Wait,
lemon and water. In
So
the
instead of drinking
Saratoga,
lemon water, he
puts it on his face.
First shirt, 603.
Finally, someone's like helping him. He has an assistant apparently who's awake at this time, helping him.
What's
do
all
these
this stuff
things.
for a bag?
This is a new routine, by the way. I haven't even seen this one.
He's a
He
bit
goes
zesty.
down.
Oh, wait, this is different?
This is 6:17 a.m. He's finally in the gym within his a lot of different.
Wait, in
angles,
his
dude.
house?
Yeah, in his no, not his house, his apartment building. He's in the steam room now. Got to get the steam going at 6:45. He's
What,
very fit
30
man.
minutes steam?
Can't take that away from him. Very.
What
fit
was
man
that? Wait,
indeed.
did he even work out?
No, that was just a steam room. You know, he got to get going 7 a.m.
How
now
long?
he's
Wait, how long was that steam?
about
40 minutes.
40 minutes of steam. Now he's getting to his workout of just running in a parking lot of some sort. 7:20 a.m. He jumps higher than all of us. There you
Yeah,
go.
Channing can't do
just
that.
want to let you know. Broke
Hey,
both.
no lie. That's where Channing broke both his feet.
Okay.
More of this water, which by the way, the sales of this water have increased by over 1,000
Because of him?
Because ever since these videos have gone viral.
Now-
Oh, here comes the banana part. This is Vlad's favorite part.
No, it's not.
He puts
What
it
the- what is he
just
doing?
rubs it first, like he has smooth baby skin.
I have smooth baby skin.
We
I don't got to do that.
Now you need more bananas. Now look at
Your
this.
phone's turned off.
It is 9:19 a.m. at this point, and he finally got to his first meal and sees himself going viral because, of course. And then
Is the meal him?
the-
Wait, come
there he
on.
goes,
At
he's
9:18?
dipping. 9:18 is when he begins his. This is a morning routine so far that is sweeping the internet right
You
now.
got to go to bed at like 7:30 at night, huh?
I hope so. Yeah, I mean, we're talking 3:40 a.m. is the time that he wakes up. He does his entire routine and begins work at around 9 something. It's a full day's work. He's 6 hours.
Actually,
already.
way too much.
6 hours of just doing nothing but wiping banana peel on his face.
Banana peel. I've been
And washing his face.
And washing his face
The
with
face dips.
with
Yeah.
Saratoga water.
Listen, notice Leroy has not fat shamed him. I did try. I swole shamed him. Is that different?
Now you could swole shame somebody.
I just
Yeah.
really feel that there's no winning with you, Leroy. I really don't understand. If I'm too skinny, I'm a windsock. If I'm too
No,
big,
no. You know what too swole look like.
that guy potentially. Like, but to me, it's like, okay, so then you need to be the ideal amount of swole to be accepted by Leroy.
No.
I strive for that.
I want to see what the perfect human is for
One day, I don't.
Everybody is every. Listen, hold on.
You're gonna be proud of me, Leroy.
Everybody is perfect in their own way, right?
Well, you don't make me feel perfect.
What do you mean? I mean, listen. Here's what I would say.
Well,
Everybody is if everybody is their perfect, whatever they are, right? But if you come into a room that I'm in your perfect self, and we're clothes 2 sizes too small, now I got to comment. I don't want to because I believe
you don't have to comment.
No.
Leroy.
I don't want to.
No, you don't.
I don't want to.
I don't want to.
You don't have to. You want to.
You've been
but
doing a
you
good
don't have
job.
to.
You've been doing a good job this.
I
this
haven't.
lately, Leroy.
Especially, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Y'all was
Debatable.
there.
Yep.
That damn weekend, last weekend made it tough.
Why?
Because when I went back on like Friday and Saturday night and had some drinks,
woo,
you know, something is like alcohol sometimes to me is like super juice. I start seeing things out of the corner of my. Did you see that? And I look over and yep, that's what I thought.
Why didn't you tell us you were there Friday night?
Huh?
Why didn't you tell us you were there?
Because I came.
We could have gone to watch you.
Oh no, I was good. I listen.
Oh, he might. You know what? He might have been shaming a lot then.
That's what it
Mhm.
And there
is.
was nobody
He
there.
wanted to
No,
shame
No
no,
one
no.
was
Hey,
watching.
well,
Shaming too.
I work on the honor system. I'm good with that.
Wow.
See, y'all
Does the honor
misunderstand.
system
Y'all
work in your head
misunderstanding.
while the thoughts that
You
go through
ever
your head?
notice that when I talk about people, it is never their body as much as what they're wearing. Like you can be you, but why are you trying to wear smaller clothes than me and you bigger than me? See what I'm saying? He said, so Chunky 52 was perfect. Yes. But he shouldn't have been wearing Slim 25's jersey.
Shirt
That's
size.
all I'm going to say.
Oh my god.
That's shaming.
Well, that's
That's
clothing.
not, no, that's not fat shaming.
That's clothing shaming.
I'm just telling you.
Technicalities over here.
That's
So
how
call
that's
Lizzo
how,
perfect, Leroy.
Lizzo's perfect. Hey, Lizzo slimmed down recently, if I'm not mistaken.
listen,
She has.
Lizzo is happy with who she is.
Oh yeah,
I'm
she
happy
is.
with that. The only thing I would say is
That was epic.
if you go into a basketball game,
Hey, be who you are.
I would prefer you not putting your hams on the chair.
Your
That's
what?
it.
Your what?
Your what?
Yeah.
Hands or
Hams.
hams?
Hams.
That's fat shaming.
No, it's not.
That's 100%. Yes, it is.
No, that's
Leroy.
hypothetical.
Yes,
not.
it
That's
is.
no.
Oh
That's
my
hypothetical.
I'm
goodness.
saying
Who would
hams.
say that?
Not I'm saying hams not because she had hams. I'm just saying hams because of butts.
No.
Talking about
Hamstrings.
That is-
hamstrings.
Hamstrings. Yeah.
Got you.
No,
Yeah.
Stop with the technicalities. You guys are helping
But
them
I'm
out.
just saying. I'm not. No. Listen.
That one makes
Everybody is beautiful. I believe that. You can find beauty in everybody.
In their mother's eyes.
No. Even in my eyes.
No, I feel like
Like I always
do
look at
that.
somebody
try
and
to
say,
find
"Oh, I
some
can see
beauty
it."
in everyone.
I still don't believe that love is blind though. Or married at first sight. That's the biggest joke on TV right now. Let me say, you ever dated somebody you ain't never saw for a long period of time? Exactly. But you watch a TV show where a whole bunch of people do it.
But you do have one night stands, though.
Huh?
You could meet somebody within minutes and then boom.
One night stand.
One night
You
stand.
can, yes, but you see them. You see them. Could you do that on the phone?
Wow.
Craigslist.
No.
Hey, listen, you know what? You are a
Hey, isn't Leroy
This
the,
is
the
getting
guy?
a little too out of hand.
I'll just say.
Control yourselves.
Everybody could be
All of you.
catfish.
They say, isn't Leroy the same guy who said sometimes you need a slump buster? Everybody needs the Charlotte Hornets in their life.
Everybody needs a spot starter, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
You
a
always gotta
bullpen
call
game.
up- You gotta have
You gotta have a bullpen game.
Oh man. You gotta
Oh,
have
for
a
the
long
bullpen.
reliever. Always have a long reliever.
Hey, I'm just
Well,
saying. Now I'm out the game right now. So I only have my pitcher right now going 9 innings.
No, you
I
got
don't
your
care what
ace. You
Right.
got your ace.
I got my ace.
But you know,
So,
single
like-
Vlad,
got a bullpen.
you always gotta have a bullpen.
This true, Figgy?
Ladies got bullpens.
Oh yeah. Oh wait,
Conversation.
Jennifer. Before you say anything,
What did I do?
let me tell you this. You are the only person on this show that has said, I called them because I needed somebody to go to the
Oh,
concert.
come
What
on.
is that?
No.
That's right here. Hey,
That's a call
That
to the
is
bullpen.
no. That is friends. That is friends.
Oh, whatever it is.
He got
You call to the bullpen.
That is friends.
Huh?
Relax.
No, see, here's what you do. You call to the bullpen and then you get rid of all the evidence.
Damn.
Don't think
You
so.
send
No
them back. You
pitches.
send them back to single A immediately. huh?
Yeah.
Not even triple A.
She
Single
got
A.
she got a whole bunch of 10-dayers, two-way
Oh
players.
man.
Yep.
You guys are painting a terrible picture of me. It's not true.
No, no, we're not.
You
Oh, you know what?
false it is.
The only picture we painting right now is you single. That's it. That means you
sounded
can
like an insult. Thanks.
No, No, you people can choose to be single or not. If you ain't found Mr. Right, then
The
you
way
be
you
single.
said it was crazy.
No, that's why you can do that. If I'm talking about calling to the bullpen and I'm married, we got a whole lot of different conversations to be having.
Lonely.
The F and JFig stands for friend zone.
Friend zone.
Wow.
Now we got
This
more
show
of
be over.
JFig's.
Hey,
More of JFig's
can I
love
just
life.
say this? I don't think this conversation went like we were.
It didn't go well. It didn't go well.
We went from calling the bullpen to JFig is single.
Yeah, but she has a bullpen. That's what we're
Right.
saying.
That's what I'm saying. Like this is not a knock on you, Jennifer.
We're almost out.
It really isn't. It really isn't. Listen, a lot of people don't say it, right? But if you're not exclusive to one person, then that means that your list of who you go with a concert with is larger than most, right? If you are if you have a relationship with somebody and then you don't go to the conversation with them, it's a different, like, yeah.
Hey, you don't got an ace. You don't have your Sandy Alcantara. Then yeah.
Right.
Then you're the Tampa Bay Rays.
This is not a knock on you at all. It's just that's where you are. That's where you are. You got a bullpen. You got like
stop saying that.
You like, hey, you just say, look.
Yeah, she could go from right to left immediately. If the
Put
right
your
doesn't
hands
the
down,
right,
Vlad.
oh wait.
Bring me the left.
Oh wait. You don't text back immediately? Cropped.
Bring out the lefty.
Bring out the lefty.
We will be interviewing all members of JFig's bullpen when we come back.
WQAM
Welcome back to Frog Week here on the Tobin and Leroy show. It's been a solid show thus far. We've been drinking Jimmy Butler's tears. We've been counting various bullpens. Got to hear from Show Pony earlier. It's been a good time, man. Let's go ahead and get to some more headlines. These headlines are brought to you by Doral Volkswagen. At Doral Volkswagen, choose from over 300 new Volkswagen models in stock, like Tiguan, Taos, and Atlas. And remember, when it comes to Volkswagen, the great deals are at Doral Volkswagen. We mentioned multiple times your Miami Heat victorious against those bums out of Golden State, led by King Bum Jimmy Butler. Put up 11 points in their 86-112 loss. Now, I was listening to the post game yesterday as they normally play, people from the locker room or what they may be saying. Unfortunately, something happened with Jimmy Butler's audio that it just wasn't playable for radio. But I do have some quotes about how mature Jimmy Butler was trying to be following the game. Mind you, this started with a Taylor Rooks quote that was released just before tip-off, in which Jimmy Butler was quoted as saying, "I got nothing to say to Pat, and he better have nothing to say to me." Which is like, all right. I mean, usually doesn't say much anyway, so strange, but okay.
That's a little intense.
So
It was intense. I feel like that was a little
too much.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? You tell Gal Gadot she's got no chance with me, all right? Like, what, dude? No one ever thought that she was gonna have it. It's just crazy things to say, Jimmy Butler. Nonetheless, the game started with a video tribute of some of Jimmy's best moments in a Miami Heat uniform. About that honor video that was made, he says, yeah, like I always say, I got a lot of love for the city and the fan base. The video was nice. I won't say there's a lot of emotions, though. I think I went into this level-headed. We wanted to win the game. On the Heat crowd booing him when he touched the ball, Butler responded, "That don't bother me. It's going to happen in a lot of places. I guess it's going to happen here now, too." When asked if the Heat's tribute video for him took him back, Butler was a little bit more reflective during this response. He said, "Yeah, I mean, takes me back to some good times when I was wearing a Miami Heat jersey. I'm very appreciative of those times to help me become the player that I am in this league, the individual that I am in this league, the teammate, leader, all of those things. I don't think I could be who I am today without my opportunity here. I tell you that." And to that, I say,
nobody cares about perspective now.
damage is done, James. It's not his name, but still. He continued to say, "I mean, I see it for what it is. A chapter has ended. I'm very appreciative of my time here, the bonds that I built here, even though he couldn't even stay around after the final buzzer to say hello to anyone. You know, when you look down the road, I mean, this was a huge part of my career. So I continue to say that I'm very grateful, and I ain't spiteful for it towards nobody. Like I always say, I'm grateful for the opportunity. I love the fan base. It's not bad. It's not all bad." I was hearing a conversation yesterday between the Hawkman and Crowder show about how this era of basketball within the Heat organization will be remembered. If this is something that people will talk about a decade from now, or will this be a blip in the radar that people will briefly mention? What do you guys think? Do you think this is something that, like the Jimmy Butler era, was this something significant enough to be brought up 10 years from now, or will people be able to move on from this easily?
With most of the other eras, even with the Tim Hardaway era, they didn't win the championship, but it always felt like they were close, right? with the Jimmy Butler era, I will look at it this way. They had a stretch of basketball, the Miami Heat, where even when they did something wrong, it worked out. Being that you were in the play-in, what, 2 of the last 3 years?
Yeah.
And made it to the finals 1 year. That's an anomaly. And so to look at it,
3 Eastern Conference Finals, though.
right? To look at it as a success,
yeah.
When a month before that, you were wondering if you were going on the right path, right? I would just look at it and saying, "Hey, remember when Jimmy Butler played for the Heat? He was awesome." And that's it, right? Like,
I don't know,
even though they made it to a finals and to 3 Eastern Conference championships, at any point in time, did you think this team could win a championship? Everything would have to go their way, right?
Yeah.
But any of those teams that they played, did you ever say, "Oh, we competing for a championship," or did you say, "We're here with a chance"?
No, it was always we're here with a chance. Jimmy Butler was always playing with less than the opposing team. Now, I will say, though, we reflect upon, Tim Hardaway's era and Alonzo Mourning's era, other than the championship, obviously, that he ended up finally achieving in 06. But, I'm talking more of when he was the forefront of things. We speak of that era, very highly. And I'll say that I have more memorable moments. Of course, it is more recently, but I can name historical moments from this Jimmy Butler era that are going to go on for the rest of the time. I think that him leaning over in the 2020, exhausted against the Lakers, that's a moment that will be forever, embody Heat culture. I think the fact that we were able to get from play into the actual championship is something you'll never be able to, because it's not just a championship run. There's teams that the Orlando Magic had a championship run against the Lakers, and no one cares about whatever the hell. The Atlanta Hawks recently had a really good.
Here's the other thing. Here's the other thing you'll remember about this era of Heat basketball. When you beat the Celtics, and they made moves, and you tried to stay with the same group of people, right?
You get negative, Leroy. I don't want to get negative.
I'm not getting negative. I'm just saying that look at what Boston did to beat you, and look at what you did to beat Boston.
You get negative, Leroy. Again, you're getting negative. That is true. It's very true. Obviously, we stayed stagnant while the rest of the East, to be honest, because Cleveland has surpassed us. Detroit has seemingly surpassed us.
The Knicks.
I mean, you can never trust the Knicks, though. Yes, talent-wise, they have surpassed us.
Swept your ass.
Did they sweep us? Or did they sweep a Jimmy Butler list? Anyway. People throwing up on the court. It's just a raggedy place up there.
I mean, when you see the Heat play during that 10-game losing streak, you damn right you're gonna throw up.
Nah, maybe it just reminded him of all the Knick basketball he's been able to enjoy over the past 10 years.
No,
because that's been going great.
No, he's so
people don't go to the Knick games for the Knicks. They go for the event.
You wildin'.
It's a MSG. It's imagine everyone's like,
stop. Let's not even compare MSG to Kaseya Center. Stop.
No, I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining.
Let's not even compare the fan base that goes to the games to the fan base. Let's stop.
No, you're right. The MSG is an Airbnb, and the fan base is obnoxious tenants.
What's an Airbnb?
Madison Square Garden.
You mean Kaseya Center?
No way.
There's more fans of the other team than there are Heat fans.
Everyone knows that everyone loves to play Madison Square Garden because everyone loves to drop 40.
Last night,
look at
you should have seen all the number 30 blue and gold jerseys that were walking away.
Everyone loves Steph Curry. I can't control that.
Hey,
He's a baby face of the league.
I'm just
But
saying.
people know when you go to how Trae Young has a minority stake in Madison Square Garden. LeBron James owns a wing, if I'm not mistaken. There's so many people who have had their best performance.
Michael Jordan has his number retired in your city.
Let's
not even talk about anything.
That is ridiculous. What are we doing with that? We had Dan Marino's jersey up there. Jesus Christ, Pat. With that being said, Jimmy Butler's a bum and he got what he deserves.
Okay, can I answer this? Is this that? Are we done now? Is this over? We don't have to mention that man's name.
I was done. I was done before that.
No, it was never going to be done until
you played here, right?
Yeah.
No, but I'm just saying I was done in that I can say you don't play for the Heat no more. Like, get over it, right? But he came back here to play, and guess what?
Yeah.
He played exactly the way he had been playing for the Heat the last year. So if you're wondering if Jimmy Butler can do that WWE stuff and pull up some unknown power like he's trying to call Thor's hammer,
it's called playoffs.
Okay, but okay. Listen, as you get older, you think you can keep doing that. And the fact of the matter is you can't. So while everybody was saying to me, don't worry, Jimmy will crank it up. Jimmy will crank it up. Jimmy will crank it up. Like when you start getting 35 plus, no, you can't. I don't care who you are. Even LeBron, as great as LeBron has been for the last few years, he picks and chooses his spots now.
Well, of course, he's 40.
But I'm just saying, but he's been doing that for a couple of years. So you think if LeBron picks his spots, that Jimmy gonna just be able to, and LeBron has an advantage that he's bigger than half the people on the court. So he can get away with picking his spots. This is not a knock on what Jimmy has been. This is a knock on what Jimmy will be. And if anybody thinks that, oh no, just wait till they get in the playoffs, okay, here's what you're going to get. Jimmy Butler's going to average 15 to 20 points. He's going to be, he's avoiding defense all of a sudden, right? He's guarding the guy who ain't moving. I don't know if it's because that's the situation being without Steph or whatever, but that's what he's doing. And now when he picks his spots, he got to take a break, right? So remember when in the second half, when he thought, Jimmy about to do something, and then he take it down and just start getting the ball out of his hands.
But Jimmy's in the perfect position.
He is, as long as he's not number one.
Where he doesn't exactly. He does not have to be a number one anymore. He's number two.
Yeah, but is it fair to say? Is it fair to say he's kind of always been this? He didn't want to be the guy you had to depend on 25, 30 points a night.
In Miami, he had to be.
Right.
In other places. In other places.
So when it got to the point, when it got to the point, Vlad, when it got to the point where he couldn't, right? And we all gave him excuses. The problem is he's getting older. That's okay. It happens. But don't just think that you was going to always get the Jimmy Butler that you got when he first got here. That was my whole argument. Stop telling me about playoff Jimmy and playoff this. Jimmy's getting older. He can't crank it up like he used to be able to. And to be honest with you, there's not a whole bunch of people that can. Because even when you watch LeBron play, he picks and chooses. He picks his moments. Right, he just happens to be a lot bigger than Jimmy.
And he also has a Luka.
Right. Well, now he has a Luka and he had an AD.
Exactly. That's what Jimmy wanted. That's what basically Jimmy
They tried.
And in the long run,
but guess what?
But in the long run, it was a good thing y'all didn't get Dame.
Let me ask you a question.
Look at that.
Let me ask an honest question.
Visionary.
Jimmy wanted the extension to be the number one. but didn't want to be the number one?
You don't know why he wanted the extension.
He wanted the extension because that was his.
He didn't want the responsibility. I don't think he wanted the responsibility. I think that's why he wanted Dame. I think that's why he wanted Bam or Tyler to step up, because he was just tired. He doesn't want to play basketball anymore, guys. He wants to go to Miami Open and drink coffee and play dominoes, go to Art Basel and Miami Music Week. That's all he wants to do. He's done with basketball. And that's why he came back to Miami and he showed us exactly who we thought he was. A loser.
That's not true. There's a lot of people that thought that Jimmy, like Vlad said, Jimmy was going to go out and score 40, 50.
I thought he was going to be petty.
Listen,
of course.
I'm petty too. I'm petty too. I'm petty with a lot of people, but I can't fight them because I get my ass kicked.
You want to fight?
Because I'm old.
Yeah, why you want to fight Chuck Norris?
I kick Chuck Norris' ass. I don't know. Y'all can line up Chuck Norris and all of his Parcheesi friends, and I'll hose through them like some chips. I don't know what y'all talking about, but that's too old. That's too
what
old.
if he goes after your weakness, Leroy?
What is my weakness? Try to step on my toes?
Your thumbs.
Ooh, thumbs.
My thumbs? He ain't gonna get that close.
Yeah.
Huh.
Talk about it.
Dude, my forearms are the same size as that dude's legs.
He lasso your thumbs.
Jesus.
Really? You think I'm gonna give him time to take a piece of rope and swirl it around and throw it at me?
You're both old. By the time he
started all them little machinations and trickery and trickeration, I'm bum rushing him.
Nah, Chuck Norris is 85 though. That's a different level.
85. Y'all still talking about Chuck Norris kicking my ass at 85. Dude,
it's probably
listen. I kick Chuck Norris' ass and go straight to jail because then y'all want me arrested for kicking old man's ass.
By the way, you can't go to jail for this old on old crime.
This is
so no, what's my cutoff? 50?
65.
65?
Yeah.
See, even at 65, I feel like, 9 years from now, right? 9 years from now, I can't even say that. That's ridiculous.
What, 9 years from now, you think you still could be Chuck Norris? I would hope so. He'll be like 94 by
That's what I'm saying. That sounds stupid. That sounds stupid. That we even having this conversation is ridiculous. I would kick Chuck Norris' ass. 85.
He's got one kick left.
Wait. You could have took.
I don't know if he's gonna be kicking.
I could take Chuck Norris. Let me see. We can go back till I'm 40 and he's whatever he is. He's 83 now, so he's 17 years. When I was 40, he was 57.
Yeah.
I would still kick.
No,
are you kidding me?
Oh, I got 57-year-old Chuck Norris.
No, you don't, dude.
Yeah, he's still whooping that ass.
No, because I got 57-year-old Leroy easily.
But over 80-something-year-old Chuck Norris. Now, they ain't no here.
A lot of people are still taking Chuck Norris at this stage.
Hey, wait a minute. Hold on. How old is Chuck Norris?
83.
And how old are you, Leroy?
56.
So he's got 27 years on you. Ain't no 40.
27.
It's 27, not 17.
Oh, that's right. 27.
Yeah. So
when I was 40, he was 67.
67-year-old. He just got into Social Security. Yeah, he's still whooping your ass.
Yeah, I still got 67.
Dude, what is wrong with you, Vlad? Vlad, when I was 40 years old, I would pick your ass up by your legs and beat Chuck Norris' ass with you.
As you should. You can use me as a prop, but Chuck Norris is still, I think, at 67. Still got you.
No
57, I don't think he got you right now. 87, but 67, when he just got Social Security, oh yeah, he's walking Texas Ranger in that ass all game.
I got 73-year-old Chuck Norris, potentially. No. All right, we got on too long. We got to go on break. Len's texting me. He said that I'm fired if we don't.
Or you go on break. Leroy has something to say.
Yeah,
Leroy, please tell us about A&T.
For the best dry cleaning in South Florida, you got to use our friends over at A&T Dry Cleaners. Ara is our boy. How many of you are sick of not getting that direct care, bad customer service? That's never the case with A&T Dry Cleaners. You can text or call Ara at any time. His number is 954-610-9383. That's 954-610-9383. A&T Dry Cleaners has been around for 40 years, and they're family owned. You know what that means? Mama does the sewing. They will pick up and drop off your orders. They service all of South Florida, Dade, Broward, and Southern Palm Beaches. You need alterations done. You need your school clothes, prom dresses, wedding dresses, suits. I know you guys got hanging on to that suit you had since high school. You need some help. Call my guy Aura. You need some help. And he's a fan of the show. So here's what you do. You mention our name, Tobin and Leroy, you get 25% off your order. That's right, 25% off. All you have to do is call or text our 954-610-9383 at any time. He will hook you up. He will give you an idea of how long it would take your clothes to be fixed. You can even come and pick them up. All that service just for that, from one dry cleaners. Just give our call, 954-610-9383. And I promise you, once you use A&T dry cleaners, you'll never launder your own clothes again.
Welcome back to the Tobin and Leroy show. It has been a plethora of laughs and silly sauces all day. You know who else has been on television, probably putting on a good show? LeBron James. He was on Pat McAfee.
Yes, sir. I'm watching it. It's airing right now.
Yeah, he had some things to say, including appointing a new co-host. He has a podcast. Of course, you know, LeBron James got his last podcast co-host a head coaching job, and he may be looking to do the same with this new co-host. He announces none other than Steve Nash. He'll be hosting a podcast, Mind the Game Season 2, with Steve Nash as a co-host. It will debut on April 1st. And yeah, how do you think that's gonna do? LeBron and Steve Nash going back and forth talking basketball. Anything you're interested in? No?
I mean, this is gonna be two smart guys talking about basketball.
Yeah.
I think you need somebody with a little more volatility to go at LeBron.
Ooh. You don't think Steve Nash is going to ask the questions that are going to...
No, it's not that. It's not that. Listen, Tobin's very smart about radio. I like to think I know what I'm talking about when it comes to sports. But together, if we were the same person, this show wouldn't have the same, punch to it.
Yes.
Like, so you kind of need that. I won't say, like, I hate when people say we can't agree, so I'm just going to be a contrarian. I don't like that. I like, if that's what you believe, go with it. If not, don't be fake. But you also can't have a show where everybody just sitting there, yesing each other. Because how interesting could it be? Like, for example, I don't know if Chuck does any preparation, but I like the stories and I like the angle that he comes from with a lot of the things he says, right? Then you have guys who are very professional at it, and I'm not saying that Chuck isn't, but they have stuff written on paper.
You're talking about Charles Barkley, right?
Yeah, Charles Barkley.
Yeah. Come on, we when you're saying Chuck, then people might be thinking Norris. So you gotta clarify here. You gotta clarify. We were just talking about Chuck Norris a segment ago, so please clarify.
So from that standpoint, I just think there's certain, aspects of it that you need to be able to go back and forth on. I don't know if they will ever, because they're so smart and basketball minded, I don't know if they'll ever, have that back and forth that you almost need, right? So I'm out.
Someone he's had a back and forth with recently, Stephen A. Smith. This seems like it's been a never-ending.
LeBron hasn't said nothing about it, but Stephen A. keep talking about it.
Well, LeBron finally broke his silence today when he was on the Pat McAfee show. LeBron James used those very same ESPN airwaves to address the feud. He sat down and said he completely missed the point. Never would I ever not allow people who talk about the sport to criticize players about what they do on the court. That is your job to criticize. That is all a part of the game. But when you take it and get personal with it, it's my job not only to protect my damn household, but protect the players. I think a lot of the media, including him, and I know he's going to be happy as hell when he hears me talking about him, he's going to get home and grab some ice cream out of the bleeping freezer and sit in his chair in his tidy whities on the couch. Relax, bro. This is great. LeBron continues to rip the star. And says that he's like on a Taylor Swift tour run right now. It started off with I didn't want to address it, but since the video came out, I feel the need to address. You couldn't wait till the video comes out so you can address it. And since then, you know, the Bronny who he's been talking about has scored a career high both in NBA and G League. So, you know, things seem to be.
I don't really appreciate him bringing in Taylor Swift to the mix.
Yeah, I don't.
He wasn't he wasn't taking a shot at your girl.
No
Relax.
one can say
Relax.
Here's what I hate.
I don't know.
The thing I hate about all this,
Keep hunting.
and I'm gonna take you for personal experience. Have you ever gone to a store? Have you ever gone to a place of business, right? And the person that comes to either serve you or help you says, "Bear with me, it's my first day," and they expect understanding from you. That applies to every profession other than sports. In sports, you got to be a Hall of Famer the second you play. Nobody ever says, you know what, after a couple of years of development, he might come into his own. Nope, they want to trash your ass right away. And so from that standpoint, if you're in basketball, okay, and you hear people talking about Bronny, I can name 30 players that started like Bronny and ended up being really good players. And a lot of them came through Miami. Think all the guys that started in Miami, like the Bruce Browns and guys like that. But we have no patience. So the first failure you see out of a guy, regardless, he wasn't a top 5 pick. He was barely drafted. So you think he's supposed to come into the league right away and be a baller? I don't care who his daddy is. It's going to take time. And because of where he started and how he started, it might take longer than other people. But to trash him for being in the league for 12 seconds is unfair. Because I tell you what, in any other place of business, they will not hesitate to tell you, I just got here, be patient, I'm learning. But you can't do that in sports.
Let's hear from Heat Nation before we head to a quick break. We got Ricardo on the line. Ricardo.
Marcos, Leroy,
buddy?
Vlad, and JFig. How are you guys doing on this hump day?
We good. We good. We good.
Excellent.
Humpy.
What?
Humpy. Probably not an adjective you should be using.
Sure. Other than that, Ricardo, what you got, buddy?
I got so much on my mind, but not enough time to do it. But I will say, firstly, yeah, Marcos, enough with the Jimmy Butler slander, man.
I mean, look, he
Come
had
on.
an opportunity to
Be
change
mature.
my mind. Look, we're done. Leroy said it. We're done after yesterday's beat down. We'll go. Bygones will be bygones after this.
Oh, jeez. And then
I want to thank Jimmy.
He ain't
You know why?
You thank Jimmy.
I'm going to thank Jimmy.
Huh.
Because of his performance last night, I get half off my pizza.
Oh, you can use my code, by the way, Ricardo. You can use my code.
Thank
Heat
you.
Win, by
Thank
the way.
you, Jimmy.
So even in the loss, Jimmy's still
Alright.
giving.
Yep.
Yeah, thank you, Jimmy. Appreciate the
So,
help.
Ricardo, let me ask you this.
Yes, sir.
We've seen, like, this team, the Warriors, kind of look like the Heat with Jimmy the last however long. Right?
Yes, sir.
Why are we making Jimmy to be something he's not? Like, Jimmy played a Jimmy basketball game last night. There are times where he could go off for 30 or 40, but for the most part, he going to score 15 to 20. He going to have 8 to 10 rebounds, maybe 5 to 10 assists. He going to have a couple of steals. He going to do all those things, right? This is what he's always been. Can that guy be your number one?
That's you know what? I'm not going to be Tobin here. I'm going to give you an answer. I'm going to say no now, because he basically put him. He hold on, Marcos. He put himself on a team that already has a number one. So his designated spot is already going to be a number two. And everything that you mentioned with the rebounds, the assists, getting other players engaged in the game so that they can perform and maybe outperform their normal expectations to where team basketball can win them the games, right? Whether with or without Steph Curry. But there's going to be instances like last night where, all right, Steph's out. Number two, you got to be number one. And you have been number one in previous years of other teams that you've been in before, especially with Miami. You got to show that, right? In times where you got to win the game, regardless of playoff expectations or not. Jimmy didn't show any of that last night. We saw a typical laissez-faire, I'm going to sit back. This game don't really have much weight to it type of Jimmy. Damn, he was sitting laughing and chuckling with Draymond when the game ended, like if they didn't just lose by 25 points or however much they lost by.
Yeah, I've seen that trick before.
I don't really know what the mentality with Jimmy is right now. Maybe it was his ploy all along to play like that, or whether it wasn't. But to be honest, Leroy, to answer that question, he can't be a number one because I feel like his mentality has changed ever since all of this drama and stuff that he's gone through and things like that.
But he was like that. He was like that before then. Like he was the guy that was doing all the things you just talked about before the drama of this year. And if you're Pat Riley and you seeing, hey, my star is scoring around 15 to 20 points. He's touching them all. He's getting everybody involved. Okay. But in those moments where I need him to take over a game, for whatever reason, he's not doing it. And he's only playing 60 to 65 games. So you put all that together, why would anybody pay him?
Yeah, I would be asking that question. It would make me ask more or a lot out of him. Like, why
That's
can't
what Pat did. Pat said,
we need of you.
Point blank, I need him to play more games. And Jimmy started the season by saying, I agree. I'm just going to go hoop. Does anybody remember that conversation, or is it just me? Jimmy saying, I'm just going to come out and hoop?
I remember that. I remember that. But then how Tobin would put it, right, Leroy, that there was moments in the season because he didn't automatically just start pooping the bed when the season started. He was playing well. And then there was just these bumps in the road, these loss of leads in the fourth, and these detrimental losses that just built up the pot, started boiling the pot over, and then Detroit came through and boom. Ever since then, it was just like, well, even if I gave my 110,000%, the rest of the team around me is not doing their part in terms of winning the games that we had leads over or we couldn't finish and things like that. Like, I feel like it's a mentality point for Jimmy at that range, and that's where we at. And
not for nothing, one of the signs of a true star, a true number one, he can get everybody else involved and get his when needed. It's not one or the other.
Well, I hope you know I have to now pay Ricardo for his appearance on the show after that phone call. That was at least $35 worth of material there. Even though he was pro Jimmy, we'll forgive him. We're going to go ahead and call it a show. Frog Week continues tomorrow. JFig, Leroy, Vlad will be back right here bright and early, 10 to 2 tomorrow. We'll catch you then.